win, right? Does that count for your fighter level or your character
Only my
level?
fighter level, not my rest of my level.
Okay, sure.
That's how it is with everything.
Mm.
I looked at Lance, I was like, so I'm a Warlock Rogue, and I have sneak attack and like blast power for both my class levels. And people were like, no, that's not how it works.
No.
You should not just take one level in every class and then get scaling everything. That's not.
Interestingly enough, something that does stack is spellcasting, sort of.
Yes,
Well,
but
kind of, depending on. If you take 2 spellcasting classes.
the rule for that is really weird. Basically, depending on the kind of spellcast you are, like it partially increases or something, or something.
Well, some of them
like you
decrease.
become a
Like you get a new
half-caster.
track entirely.
Yeah.
That adds like a third of your fighter levels, arcane knight and stuff. It makes multi-class like spellcasters possible if you multi-class to another spellcaster.
It seems though that most classes have those like sub specializations that sort of defeats the need to do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Which
Like the Hexblade Warlock, it would have been like Fighter Warlock would have been definitely a thing otherwise.
yeah, because I so personally prefer that because I'm tired of of the 500 different classes you do.
But
In
in Pathfinder, when
Pathfinder.
you opened that thing, it was like, okay, so what I'm playing, here's the basic classes, but we all know that there's the not, like, real.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's prestige classes.
Yeah.
Freaking.
It wasn't even that. Like no one played a prestige class either. It was just these weird hodgepodge of just the strangest things.
Listen, Sorcerer Barbarian makes
Yes.
a lot of sense.
It turned
Pure
out
alchemist. I played.
in that specific campaign it made sense in the end. Yes, I agree. But that's when you started to split your personality into your like and cloned yourself into a dragon and like yeah, it
Excuse
worked.
me? What?
It's yeah.
It
Some
was
people become liches, some people become 2 dragons.
Some people become undead horrible liches that can like level a city with a flick of his wrist, and some
Is that what you
people
did, Jonas? That sounds like
no,
you're
I
bad.
would
Some
never.
people, and some people become the boys of hell that stink an entire continent.
Me become an evil lich to kill a god? Like who would
Yeah.
believe it?
You know, an evil campaign usually ends with everyone like being angry because there's only one orb of ultimate power. I think with the Wicked we managed to make it so that everyone had a satisfying like evil apotheosis.
Yeah, everyone had their own orb of power, so to speak.
and then suddenly the entire world was in hell, and we weren't told a thing about it.
No, I left at that point.
point.
No, true.
I had left at that point. I was like, no, I'm not.
Zacharias had left. You're the only one who had a problem.
Actually, it was Cash and Telemondus who were stuck there.
Catch that.
They both built to.
Sucks to be them. Really. Yeah, I came. I didn't come to that meeting. I know what was gonna go down in that meeting.
Look, just because me and Marcus were conspiring to sink an entire continent.
It's fine.
Let's see,
Zacharias,
shall we stop with this insider joke that Valky can't be a part of?
Zacharias will come for you one day, DDS. Don't
What do you
worry.
mean? Valky watched it. He cares about us as friends.
He watched all 200
If you-
something hours.
I would have watched some this week, but I did 12 hours overtime, so I didn't really have that much time this
If
week to
you
watch
have
it.
ever loved us, Valky, you will watch this.
Oh, the peer pressure! I can't. It's too much.
I don't hand in a resume for jobs. I just give them like a link.
Yeah.
Watch this. Then
Yeah.
you know who I am. After
you
this,
know-
you'll know.
Yeah,
Perhaps you
know.
have seen my
I
work.
haven't had a job yet, but
It's like
you know.
400 hours of raw
the
video.
first guy I sent to still haven't had time to watch it, so I'm holding out.
You know.
There are a few people who have posted and sent messages and stuff that claim that they have watched the entire thing. So there are people out there who have done it.
There's a few people I've been playing some board games with who also say they've watched the entire thing. And that's
That's,
just great with some of their DMing.
yeah,
That's
you know.
commendable.
I mean, watched it is one thing. Listen to it in the background while I play like another game.
Hmm.
That I can sort of agree. I mean, I could.
I mean, even
you know.
so, like someone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go through the whole thing." I'm like, I barely made through the whole thing. Like, I can't even, I can't even imagine how it would be.
I've listened to the Thursday night podcast, 4th edition. That's like super mega long, and
I'm
that
just saying, Jonas.
multiple times.
We played Daily Touch Book 7 though.
I mean, you know, I have certainly watched, for example, Giant Bomb's endurance run of Persona 4 multiple times, and that's like a 100-hour playlist.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I've gone
Multiple
through.
times? Are you
I
insane?
have gone through that 3 times in its entirety, I think.
Persona 4 is typically-
Because that is among the best LP I have ever seen in my life. It is the funniest damn thing.
Oh God. But it's
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah.
So much time invested
But-
for that one thing.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you put that on in the background, and then you go and like.
But that's not watching it though. That's just having it on the background. You can
Yeah,
do
Okay,
that's what I'm
in-
saying.
I mean, in
count
that
having it in the
case-
background
in
as the
that
most I
case-
would expect anyone to do.
In that
Because otherwise-
case, I watched it in its entirety once, and then I've had it in the background 2 other times.
Yeah, I can
It's in
understand.
entirety, and then probably 4 different times where I've watched or listened to parts of it.
And you don't think we can compete with that?
That is
Several hours of pre-buffing and then
Oh.
fighting one battle. You don't think that's content that
Man,
can?
Oh, we need to.
So many buffs.
need to go through that entire thing and put in timestamps to be like, here, skip to the battle by clicking here.
Skip past the battle by clicking here, because really it's not that interesting.
Some people really like those battles.
The 20-minute Where the Wicked supercut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be. Ooh, I don't-
20 minutes would be hardcore.
yeah, that would be very hardcore.
1 minute per level.
Yes. Oh, go!
We killed this guy. We killed this guy. We did this. Shit.
The bar fell off the mountain. Sheep screamed blue horse.
Oh no, Blue Horse. Alright.
Blue horse.
You've gone too far. Let's play this over again.
The PTSD is kicking in. Sweat is beading on our foreheads. Oh, blue horse. What a villain.
He was an asshole.
He was such a fucking
That's
asshole.
literally his personality description. This guy's an absolute dick.
He was an absolute dick.
He will try to kill and knock people down, and he's just an absolute asshole about everything.
So, I think I can do the recap, even though I think I did it last week too.
Yeah,
I
if you
love your
think you can
recaps,
do it, then
though.
go ahead.
Your recaps
All
are
right.
so good.
We started the session with the intent to talk to a bunch of people, because that's what we still had left to do. At first, we talked to the Order of the Gauntlet person, whose name I forgot. And he was like, yeah, I mean, you can help you can have our officers, but they have morals, and they are not just soldiers you can order around. They'll help you for the greater good and all those things. And we're like, yeah, just give us people, basically. And he also said that he would like our help on a scouting mission to scout, or rather, as it turned out, take out a bunch of thieves that were annoying Gordon Grimm, which was like Drow and Orc and even 2 Driders, as it turned out. And so we went there. We killed them. They were all dead after we were done. And the Order of the Gauntlet person was happy, and we're like, yeah, just remember that our people have morals, and if you don't do the good thing, then we'll be upset. So that was what he was all about. Afterwards, I believe we talked to the Zentarum. What was that? What we did after the scouting mission right away?
No, the Lord's Alliance. Right?
Oh, we talked to the Lord's Alliance first. The haughty elf dude who was like, I don't know why we're here, and we're annoyed that we have to provide resources to fight against the end of the world, and why should we help you? And he was just a huge dick. And in the end, if I could access my token, I could actually look at my notes, by the way, which would be useful. There we go. Yeah, my notes. The Lord's Alliance wanted us to find 2 of their agents down in the Underdark, who, of course, they have agents because they're connected and everything, and also told us that they would most likely be disguised as Drow, and they can help us. But really, that they are not really helping us that much, because I don't think they're as sure about this whole ordeal as we are. So, yeah. And last but not least, we talk to the Zentarum, who were almost equally as haughty because they think they're a big deal and that they have exactly the information that makes this mission possible in the first place. And, we absolutely need their help. Otherwise, how will we ever accomplish anything? They proposed that they can help us not only get into Mental Dareth, which apparently is a city that disintegrates people who are not supposed to go there, and is also hidden. And they have a way in because they have an agent in there called Gazrim Dulok. And if we do a few minor things for them, they would give us that. They have also said that if we don't come to an agreement, chances are that most of the Zentarum is probably going to work together with the demons because, that's the alternative apparently. But the things they asked for were steep indeed. Like, they want 3 things. They want control of the Underdark, which means control over every outpost we establish, full control after this is all over. They want 20% of all gold treasure that we find in any way, shape, or form. And they, of course, want full information to all the information we gather. Full access to all the information we gather during this quest. So control is one thing, 20% gold is a straight-up insult, and information, whatever. So either we give them a ton of things, or most of them are probably going to become demon worshippers. So that's a thing.
I struggle to understand can you imagine the HR meeting where they call everyone in the big, it's like, well, listen, since the adventurers didn't agree to give us all their gold, we are now going to worship demons. How do you sell that on the company retreat? I don't get it.
I think the way she put it was basically, well, if we don't agree to assist you, we're not going to stop our buddies worshipping demons either.
As they kind of described it, they said they've kind of got a split opinion on this, where they got some of them who are actually okay with it, and some of them who are not.
How are you okay with worshipping demons?
She in particular wasn't with it. wasn't particularly on that side. But the big thing basically was, if no agreement is made by the Zentarum as an organization, agents will be free to do what they want, which will include supporting them.
Yeah. So either they are on our side or they are on their own side, which means some of them will support the demons. So yeah, just to summarize, the Order of the Gauntlet seems to want to support us anyways, but they are worried about the moral implications and staying on the moral high ground and whatnot. The Lord's Alliance is I think hesitantly providing resources, mostly for the outposts and such, but very, very hesitantly. But they are sort of in it, and they have agents that we're supposed to find. And then the Zentarum are just being huge dicks. Although the things they are offering are quite significant, like bypassing most of the dangers on the way past Mental Dareth, really. They get us into the place, they get us all the way to the library. Apparently they've already been there. It's a nice place, and I don't know, that it might be a ton of bullshit they're selling us here.
Well, they're not asking for your soul, because Gesh doesn't have his own anymore. But
now, one last thing that we sort of ended the session on. When we met with the Zentarum, Gesh was pretty straightforward. I was like, hey, did you poison the dinner? And they were like, no, why would we do that? It's probably someone who's possessed by demons. And shortly after, the Order of the Gauntlet leader or representative, Sir Lenniver Strail, was found dead as he was pushed off a bridge, I believe. Yeah. And that's pretty much where we ended.
So this time we start with murder mystery.
Yeah. Liam was off because Cinder had insisted to have his treasure hunt that he was promised, and Liam did not think that it was a good idea to let him just go about that. He's back though. Cinder is happy. He's content now. He got to do some treasure hunting and found some orcs that were hiding out, and he killed them all with Liam. And they really had like a good bonding experience, like
Oh,
the son and dad wanted to go fishing, just killing orcs and taking their treasure. And he liked it. It was a good time. Now he's ready to be a good boy for a little while.
Nothing-
Good boy, Cinder.
Nothing that builds a character better than genocide.
I
A
mean,
little bit.
I mean,
It's not like he's.
listen. It's not genocide if it's orcs. It's like stomping out cockroaches. You don't call that
And
genocide.
then you find some
you
goblin
call
children.
that you call that housekeeping.
Yeah. Cyrilla, however, was offered by the dwarven priests to take a look at the Myliki temple here. The Gauntlgrim has a massive vault of temples that has a temple to every good or neutral god conceivable, really. Most of them, however, are in complete disrepair and have all the fine stuff ripped out of them, and all the statues, like horrible blasphemy, has been planted all over it from the thousands of years of orcs and stuff. The dwarves have mostly focused on the dwarven deities so far. They don't really. It's a lot of work to restore these cathedrals, and so Cyrilla is going to go and help them with that because she thinks that it'd be good for them to have a little bit of Maliki interest in here, working with some of the people from the Emerald Enclave to make that nice. So we'll be over here. We'll put it on here.
And this now is the next morning, right?
Yes, he was found in the morning.
I believe even before this happened, we were sort of discussing how to find out who's like poisoning stuff and trying to sabotage us by just lining up all the servants and questioning them with all methods we have available.
We're going to be like, we're just going to be
Also,
like,
the squire is probably the most likely suspect.
Yeah.
I mean, if the squire was affected by madness, then that seems the most logical thing that they.
Okay, the car is affected by Madison. Yeah, maybe.
The squire was in the king's hall at the time where this might have happened.
So he has an alibi. Okay, that's fine.
She does, yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. Oops.
I mean, I'm going to, I'm just going to note the fact we have disguising magic as a thing. Keep that in mind as well.
Yeah.
I should know I got it.
Yeah, you've been offered to take a look around. You're adventurous. You might have means that the dwarves don't. Beyond that, they are going to take a look around as well. The king trusts you to not have been the people who murdered him.
Well, that's trust that could be exploited.
Nice. Sheep. I mean, Gesha. Oops.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, let's take a look around.
The first thing, is the body recoverable, or is it just beyond?
The body fell down and seems to have been falling, sort of been pushed, probably from the back as the front fell first. And so you have like this, like the leg are mostly intact, and then like the torso is like crushed, and then the head is like broken open.
Okay.
Ground.
Can you speak with Dead on that, Sheep? If you can get the body.
Maybe, I don't know.
I believe the head must be mostly intact.
I can levitate it back up if I'm close enough, but I need at least like 60 feet before I can try.
I mean, you can go down there. There's paths that.
Oh, sure. Okay, I thought it was just like an abyss that we couldn't get it back.
No,
up.
no.
I mean,
they don't just have random holes. It's like a bridge going over another place. Like this place is huge, but there is a purpose to everything.
I think that's the
It's
first port of call.
looking
Really, it's
cool.
just question. He probably won't know anything because he got pushed from behind. But
The
He might
corpse
not.
isn't going to run away. Let's look at the bridge first.
yeah, sure.
Sure, we can do that.
Sure.
Let's investigate the bridge.
Your tombs and stuff.
Yeah.
The bridge is not in the center of the claimed area. It's kind of at the outskirts. Secluded, except for the empty halls of the dead and the paths leading everywhere.
So, is there anything in the area that the person would have wanted to go to, or does it seem completely out of place for him to be here in the first place? Like, is there any relevant location to him around here?
Like a
So most
landmark
of
or
what
something.
surrounds this place is dwarven tombs. It is unlikely that there is something someone would just sort of walk over here to do.
That's
So increase the likelihood of the meet. It was like a meeting that went wrong.
perhaps, but a meeting with who? Let us investigate the bridge. That's terrible.
I'll also have a look over the bridge because Roland's actually decent at this as well.
Mhm.
I've never used this skill before, but
18.
I'll give it a go. Why not?
It's the kind of situation where everyone has to look over the bridge.
I mean, the point in time, I'm actually trained in investigation.
Oh wow,
I'm trained in investigation as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. But I still got a roll.
You know, Riordan, you're closer to the ground. Maybe you'll see.
Wow.
It's
Oh
stone
wow!
chest.
Shots
The-
fired.
It's a
Jesus
chess
Christ!
situation all over again.
There's no like wind in here really, and it's just like things don't move around a lot. As you look, you can see like a few loose stones and stuff. You know, probably just stuff that's fallen from above at some point. It's so hard to tell. What you do find is one long sort of red hair laying on the bridge.
Oh dear.
If it's related or not, I mean,
Well,
It's a point of consideration.
If you fold it into a ring, it's a red hair ring.
Roland promises it's not his red hair.
yeah. Does
Boo.
someone wanna be the evidence holder? I guess. Or. because
Sure,
we're gonna
give it to
accuse-
me. I'll make a new section in our pile. Evidence.
So Gesh is now not only the treasurer, but also the evidence clerk.
I mean, consolidation of power. It's a good thing.
This feels very Alice in Wonderland trial here, but everything helps. I'm
Oh,
sure.
that is very little to go on.
It narrows down if that is the case that someone was here. We'll see.
Okay. Could Roland take a quick look around the area to see if there's anywhere nearby that, like, from you, because we're giving Roland's own kind of expertise, but he's concerned to think about, like, would there be maybe a hiding spot nearby that's possible that someone might use? Maybe have a look around, try to look, see if he can find any of those. If anything stands out.
you know, if you find someone who's stealthy, you could be stealthy. See where you would hide.
Mhm.
So Roland skulks off after finding the rotation, like, oh, I should make my exit.
I'll aid you because I'm trained and I'm small. So
Sure.
I'll aid you because I'm small.
He's the second best person at stealth in the group.
I'm taking your insult in stride, Gesh. No,
So what role do you want, Malachi?
stealth.
If anything.
Stealth, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean,
Stealth
if you know
advantage.
where to hide, then you would know where someone might hide. That makes sense to me.
30.
30.
Oh, damn.
What?
It's my best skill
Is that wow? 11? What?
because I got expertise in it, so I double my proficiency on it.
Holy moly! It's a good roll.
Yeah.
Just
So 30.
vanish. It's like where'd you go?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of places you could hide here. As you go to like the most likely one that would have like a perfect spot and everything. However, you see as you move towards it, a figure move up through the floor, a dwarven shape in sort of a translucent pale white, with a stern look on its face. As it hovers up through the floor and says, "Halt! This place is not for the living."
Oh,
I take a moment to consider: is this a ghost?
yeah. It looks
Yes,
like.
this is a ghost. Gauntlegrim has a lot of them. It is a very haunted place because the dwarves have been buried sort of really anywhere in it. Many of the corridors and crypts have so many ghosts though, that their treasures are openly lying there. And throughout the thousand years that Gauntlegrim has been sort of under enemy occupation, they have not been raided. It simply is not worth it. There's too many ghosts.
Okay.
Roland basically has a completely blank look, unsure exactly what to say. He kind of vaguely looks over to Riordan.
The ghost looks down upon the bridge, looks at you,
Yes.
sort of watches.
Rin we'll ask. Well, I don't know how receptive this ghost is to questions, but he will ask like, did you see anyone here, hiding here last night specifically?
No living thing enters these halls, nor does anyone who would threaten it. I am Thriduin Deepstrike. He says, looking. and a coffin behind him.
Is surely a mighty name.
This tomb holds my son. I watch it at all times.
And you are completely sure that nobody was here then?
In this place no one hid. The bridge was used, but no one entered this place.
Okay.
Did you see what happened on the bridge last night?
Looks down. Looking at this elf, asking him questions. With a frown. He doesn't seem to like else. Could you like try to do a persuasion check and see what he actually like?
Can we give advantage on this because both doing it?
Sure.
From you, I guess, because you asked, right?
Well, I mean, technically I passed one last time.
Crit. These aids are helping.
Crit 19.
He looks at you and says, "It is long since these halls have been walked by even allies of my ancestors." She looks down. A man fell from the bridge. It was not an accident.
If it wasn't an accident, then did you see who committed this?
He looks at you and says, "I should not speak such evil of my ancestors, of my kin. I will not name one of them to you."
That is fine. You've already given us information from that. Thank you for your help, but we must be on our way.
He hovers there. Before slowly, as you sort of step away, sort of fading and becoming once again sort of non-existent.
Well, Roland, seems we have a wharf on our hands here.
Wiping off some nervous sweat from his brow, he nods.
Are you alright?
I wasn't expecting to be conversing with a ghost this early in the morning.
Worse things have happened to us, I think.
Doesn't mean we have to get used to them.
True. I guess then we'll go back and relay information.
Gesh will out loud say, "Well, that's not very helpful. There are many dwarfs here, and this red hair is likely... Well, who knows how it could have gotten here?" Followed by a telepathic, "If only we knew a red-haired dwarf who has been in the Underdark quite a long time and could have attracted some sort of demonic possession. Oh wait, we do know one."
Kind of just turns to look at him for a moment.
I'm not saying I want to suspect Eldif, telepathically spoken, not out loud. But I think we should consider the possibility.
Well, I suppose it could be the king himself doing it.
It could be the king. Sure.
Is she genuinely suggesting that?
No, it's Argus, the halfling.
Okay.
Eldith is looking at the stonework here.
Ah. I mean,
Now,
if the king did it, then we won't have much chance, do we?
Oh, please don't think the king did it. That
If
would
the
be
king
nonsense.
did it, I mean, he has the legal right to do so. So I mean,
Yeah.
for us it'll be like, oh, this is state-sponsored like execution, I guess. Oh well, carry on.
Well,
I mean,
carry
state
on.
mandated, not state sponsored.
State-sponsored. I mean, he pushed it himself.
No, as Argus says it, and Eldith looks over to him with like a death glare.
And I don't think Bruno would like push someone off a bridge. He would hack them to pieces with an axe if he felt like it. He's not very duplicitous.
Usually isn't known for being quiet about it either.
No, it would be like a huge uproar about it. It would be like a staged match or something.
So, how would we go about identifying someone who might be afflicted by some sort of madness or mind control or possession or anything else?
Liam
Well,
looks
if
over to
Cyrilla were
Gesh.
here.
Says, that seems to be your specialty, Gesh. Don't you have a affinity? Can't you sense these things?
No.
He so squints at him.
That is so discriminatory.
What if we flip a coin Upside is guilty, downside is not.
Liam
Well,
ignores. And continues, and he says, well, can't we talk to the corpse then?
we should do that before jumping to conclusions.
Indeed.
We have done that in the past. He sort of seemed to think, have we? Scratches his head. I can't remember, it's a bit fuzzy.
It's just me doing it.
Yeah, it's just me talking to
we
the
have
dead.
spoken to the dead all the time, right?
Yes, don't
They're
you
not
see
quiet at all.
the legion of the screaming damned that walks next to us wherever we go?
I mean, we just spoke to a ghost, Liam. So.
I mean, yes, but I mean the body, that thing.
I have ways, yes.
Liam nods. He knew Gesh has his ways. He can sense the madness too. He's just too afraid to admit it. Liam knows.
I'm not mad, but I know I am.
I know I am. Like knows like, right, Liam?
Yes.
Gesh will telepathically to Riordan specifically, I think, also say, keep an eye on Edith, just in general.
Alright. He'll keep that in mind. He won't say anything. Just
You better not. Liam would not appreciate that.
No.
No, I mean no, he won't relay the fact that Gesh has been talking to him. It's silly to do. Keep an eye on her.
I mean, Gesh sort of implied that it might be her to all of you telepathically.
Yeah, and he said that to me. So how does Liam react to that? Actually, is the question.
Yeah, I was surprised I didn't get a reaction there.
I think he just wasn't listening.
Maybe Liam was out of range.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's best that he didn't hear. So
Yeah.
let's talk to that corpse, shall we?
Always great when you look over to Gesh and you see him like, oh, he's like 28 feet away and like takes 2 steps before looking intently at the others.
Yep.
I mean, conveniently, as we all know, every single adventurer has perfect range sense for knowing exactly how far away everyone is.
Well,
Beyond
Gesh,
that, they can also communicate perfectly well just by blinking.
Wow.
I mean,
Gesh
I
choose who to talk to.
Okay,
I generally take the approach if I step away from the keyboard for a bit, then Liam is sort of zoning out or he's looking at something else.
Yeah. But
Well, that's
Gesh
what we
gives you
assumed.
it was probably Eltha it was probably Eltha the look. Which you
Yeah.
have surely practiced.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we jump to conclusion, let's talk to the dead. That always seems to be the next step.
See what cryptic tales he has for us.
Yeah.
If he can still talk, being a smushed body.
I'm sure your magic will make it work somehow.
Yeah, you can make your way down there. It looks like sort of like a mining tunnel. Probably carts have been pulled or pushed along it. Nice and straight here at the bottom, going down to the mines. Yeah, you want to cast Speak with Dead.
Yes.
You'll be
Using-
burning some incense and then spending 10 minutes.
Yes.
What does Gesh do in these 10 minutes? Like, what's this?
His ritual.
What does it look like?
I guess since he's not casting it himself, but rather he would pull out like the shard of the library, what was it? Like obsidian colored sort of crystal like thing.
It's
The
like
fragment.
a rod almost.
Yeah, pull that out, like put it down next to the corpse, do the other preparations of, the things that enhance these things like incense and whatnot. Sit down, probably close his eyes, concentrating. Although occasionally he might be not twitching, but like getting different expressions. Something that Fingermuncher mimics, as the two are probably just doing their usual banter. It's really mostly a matter of just pulling out the power of the shard and then just putting it in the corpse. It's easy, really. It just takes a bit of time.
Yeah, easy. Pulling his soul back from wherever it is.
No, you don't pull the soul back. You just animate like
Yeah.
the brain.
Oh,
The soul is gone.
That's even more horrible.
It is necromancy, but yes.
Yeah.
This works slightly different than the normal amount, as the crystal, sort of the shard, is the one sort of doing the heavy lifting. As after the 10 minutes, you sort of see a slight glow in the shard, and almost like projecting an image, like a bluish wave come from inside of it, and the corpse doesn't really move, but you still hear like you sense that there is a connection, that you could ask it questions.
All right, let's get straight to the point then. Dear corpse, who killed you? And don't say gravity.
The fall.
I know not.
Why were you on the bridge?
I was walking and speaking with my killer.
Who was your... Oh, I just asked that. Why do you not know who your killer is if you walked with him?
I cannot believe my eyes.
Two more questions. Why not?
It appeared a friend.
What friend? I mean,
Yeah, but we can't answer. He's just gonna give just gonna give a cryptic thing.
It's obvious he believes that he merely saw a friend, but it was not a friend. A shape changer of a sort, perhaps?
Or just illusion.
I mean, that's just what he believes.
We could ask how sure he is. If he is absolutely sure that he was facing a shape changer or illusion of some sort, then at least we do not have to accuse potential friends.
But he won't know that if he was so
No.
sure.
It is worth noting that the corpse only had the time to reflect it did before it died, which means that whatever you ask him is the feeling of a man falling to his death.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Like a few seconds or so.
If he simply refuses to believe that he got pushed by a friend, however, then...
I mean, the question if it's a doppelganger or not doesn't really matter, in the sense like we could look around and be like, oh, is someone missing? It's like, yes, okay, that was probably the doppelganger. Or it's like, no, then the doppelganger is still hiding as a friend. So I don't see the necessity of that.
You have one more.
One more question.
What's for dinner?
What's your favorite color?
I suppose you could ask him what they were talking about, maybe. That might be relevant.
That is a good idea. What were you and your killer talking about? Or doing in general, I suppose.
The necessities of the expedition. Then the crystal fades.
Well, isn't that curious? Who would he discuss the necessities of this expedition with, if it's not someone who is, in fact, on this expedition?
Eldith glares at you. She's picking up what you're putting down.
It's just theory crafting at this point. We don't have any evidence.
Yes, it's true. And I suppose it doesn't help anyone if I obviously imply someone. Eldith, would you mind coming over here?
She looks at you. Oh, I mean, whoever's hair that might be, anyone could have taken one and placed it here, and then immediately want to throw suspicion on someone.
It
Yes,
could
what's
be.
wrong?
Could very well be, but stands to reason that it might make sense to at least make sure that It is not simply a matter of following. Who was that person? Someone with a razor, I believe. Something about the easiest answer usually being the correct one. I was not entirely joking when I implied that we should be worried that it might be you in this case specifically. Not because you're a
Why
terrible.
would I do something like this, Gash? We've
Listen,
traveled for a very long time. I'm surprised that you would throw out such an allegation.
Listen, that's the entire point. You know what we've been through. We have seen many terrible things and been in contact with many questionable, problematic, and honestly terrifying demonic influences. You remember Bupido, I'm sure.
And I myself have been possessed. We are not saying that you did it of your own will. We are also not saying that it is definitely you.
And we also are not saying that you did it at all, but it's a possibility worth investigating. At
Liam
least.
glares at Gash and Bjorn and says, "No, we are most certainly not saying that."
It could as well be any of you. If this is my hair, you had easy access to grab one, I don't know, the last year of time. I mean, they fall out now and then.
It's not just the hair, it's also the ghost that Roland and Roland talked to, saying that it was one of their kin. And whatever you might think of me, I cannot pretend to be a dwarf.
Then again, an illusion is a
Illusion
devious
magic
thing.
is a possibility.
You have seen my own doppelganger, in a sense.
Illusion magic can change significantly. You can quite easily disguise over a foot of extra height, or lack of it.
It would be nice if we did find a way to detect demonic influence, however. Just in general, really.
Fargus nods.
Now, I do think that it is either something we cannot detect easily, or it might very well be an attempt to spread confusion. But then I would assume that whichever killer wants to imply that it was you, Elder, would have left a more obvious clue than hair. It's a rather flimsy clue, in fact.
Well, if someone is using an illusion, and we know who it is, I can certainly dispel it, but that is the hardest part, of course.
Even illusions have their flaws.
They do.
Well, Liam points to the hair. An illusion wouldn't stick around.
That is a fair point. Well, the other obvious potential candidate would be the Zentaran, but I have a hard time believing that they would poison their own food, or that they have any reason to take out the different leaders of the factions.
Well, what dwarven friends did the good paladin have?
I suppose we'd find that by asking his squire.
Seems like we should talk to the squire then.
We should.
Sure, you can go to meet with the squire.
Yes. Let's go to the squire.
Yeah. Rayleigh Venice is in the sort of the king's area where she's sort of staying as a faction representative. Now, sort of the temporary leader of the area, though she is not yet a sir. She is a loyal squire. You can easily enough meet her. She's around here.
Well,
And she
guess it
sees you
seems
sort of walk towards her. She'll give you a bow as you come close.
Well, greetings. I believe you know why we're here. We're investigating, just asking questions, seeing what sticks, as it were.
She nods. Yes, I would have come to see the corpse myself, but I have no expertise in such things. I will trust whatever decision the king comes to.
We would like to know who the dear Sir... What was his name? Sir Lenniver Strail hung out with recently, especially any dwarven relationships.
Yes, there are several of the guards here at the palace he spoke to. Others would be scouts you've taken out before we brought you, of course. Beyond that, the king himself. Sir Strail has many friends and makes them easily enough. I would think that he would count half the people here amongst his friends.
And how many of those would he discuss the details of the expedition with?
I imagine he would only speak about such, not to say sensitive matters, but they would seem irrelevant to anyone who is not going. Just frowning slightly. I was not aware that that was what he was doing. I was not made aware he left at all.
Certainly is a curious direction he went to.
certainly someone he trusted led him out that way. Or
The
seemed
ghosts
to.
got slightly upset, I believe.
Yes.
He frowns at the speaking of ghosts, generally considering the bad thing.
So, considering it is quite a few people going on this expedition, including whatever offices the Order of the Gauntlet was going to give us, we have some work to do, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, the deal with Sir Strail will still stand. I will take it upon myself to deliver the news to Waterdeep, but I shall make sure first that you receive what you were offered. Beyond that, sort of looks past to Roland, I will have no ability to claim what you were offered to stay and keep for now. As such, until another Master of the Order is able to make another decision, Sir Strail's decision about the sword you carry will stand.
Roland nods.
That's good. Well, if there's a lot of people, then we need a list, or we need some sort of collective to know who they all are, in a sense.
So we don't need a list. We need to get all of them in the same room,
The same
lock all the
time.
doors, and then we investigate.
That's certainly something that we need to talk to the king then to arrange. We can't just herd people in.
That seems to be somewhat of a harsh approach, don't you think?
These are harsh times.
Do you know us? Like, do you know our work?
We cannot waste time chasing a phantom if, well, the entire world is at stake. We need to clear up this issue very quickly.
And the longer we wait, the longer the perpetrator has time to cover their tracks.
And do other things, like murder more people.
Yes.
Honestly, the Centaurium has the most to gain by his murder. We should go and talk to that representative.
Really not. Slowly and says, they have never liked us. I don't know what offer they made you, but they certainly did not think that anyone else was necessary for the success of the mission. Beyond that, perhaps they might think we have not yet come to an agreement. I would be unable to make one for the Order, and as such, taking out my superior would have one less group that would be able to aid you, had we not yet spoken.
Liam shrugs. Makes sense to me.
Killing him in such an overt way is not something the Zentarn are known for, but it's certainly possible.
Maybe it is to make a... She shrugs this. I don't know how they work. But whoever did this needs to be brought to justice. If not by you now, then I intend to make it happen. There are people in the Order that can sense these things.
The Zentarum are the obvious perpetrators, which means they didn't do it. They were invited here with everyone being fully aware what the Black Network is and what they do. Do you truly think they would be bold enough to do this for questionable gain?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Not slowly.
Oh, until we
Liam
can rule
rolls
them
his
out
eyes.
to include it as one of our...
No penchant for defending the most hideous, villainous scum in the world, Gesh, is baffling sometimes.
Oh, I absolutely agree that the Zentarum are profiteering scum, but they are not stupid.
And
he's
yet,
not defending, he's merely prostrating.
Perhaps they count on us, assuming that they're not stupid.
A double blind.
She sort of nods and says, it seems that they could easily cry foul and say that someone is framing them.
Wouldn't be the first time, I'm sure.
So could anyone if we don't have any evidence, which we still don't. Concrete, at least.
Still, suspecting the most likely target makes sense.
Yes, it does. We will need to talk to them, I'd say.
Yes, but we should talk to the king.
Really not to you. Do you have any other questions for me, then?
Don't leave town.
Or
Actually, no, I have no interest in that. I am going to stay here and write my
leave
letters.
town very quickly, or at least get your message out, because if they realize that we made a deal, you might be next in line.
Frowns slightly, not slightly again, says, in that case, I suppose, if you truly think they could reach me here, then I should leave quickly. If I were not to make it, then these letters would not be sent and there would be no confirmation.
In a sense, I wouldn't trust somebody to lead you out by yourself. Make sure you have more than one person with you.
Send multiple letters with different couriers going in different directions.
If only I had the resources. I will have to ask the king himself for aid with this.
I am sure Bruno will help.
He nods. He has ever been generous to us. She sighs heavily. This was not something she had planned for. Seems.
Well, if we have more questions, we'll come back.
She nods. Yes, I will be here for a while longer writing the letters. And I suppose I will take Master Liam's... I will go and deliver them. And I will not be going... I will not be the only one going. Though I do think I will go alone.
Remind me, what exactly would happen if those letters didn't reach their destination?
We would have absolutely no support from them.
There would be no proof that a deal had been struck.
I see.
So there would be no monetary effort or anything. The champions who are here might still adhere to it, but beyond that, there would be very little support.
No cavalry, in a sense. We have what we have, but we definitely need more support. So
the Order's support. We may not be the most numerous, but in battling the dark forces of demons, I would dare say we are the best at that.
I can imagine.
Give you another bow. Then, masters, I shall proceed.
Be careful.
And you as well.
And
If they can take out Sir Strail, they might be able to take one of you out next.
Liam seems skeptical about that fact, but he will say, if you hear anything else, contact us.
She'll nod slowly. Towards her rooms.
The Order of the Gauntlet are zealots, it appears to me, which makes them predictable. I have trouble believing that the Zentarum would pounce on them without immediate gain.
The
If
obvious
these Zentarum...
gain would be that if we cannot secure help from them, our most likely allies, we might be more inclined to take the Zentarum up on their deal. They're weeding out the competition.
Eldith nods and says, beyond that, if we had any moral issues or thoughts that aid from the... If the aid from the Zentarum was to create problems for anyone else, it would most likely be the Gauntlet. Or the Harpers.
Certainly seems like their plan is to force us to one side. And not give us a choice.
He scratches his chin. I think the Archmage can take care of himself, right?
Jimta takes out a coin as well. I mean, are they guilty? Are they not? Any takers?
The Zentarum, I'll bet you that they are not.
Does he flip the coin?
I don't...
Jimta is ready to flip the coin to see if we should just go and get them or not.
I mean, we can have his opinion on whether or not. It doesn't mean
The fates will speak.
Sure.
There you go, that's how we solve these problems.
Yeah.
That's chaotic neutral for you.
I mean, we can let him flip if he wants to. Sure.
Well, let's not act on it, but what does your coin say?
Liam massages the bridges of his
Heads or
nose.
tails?
Oh my goodness.
I like tails.
Of course you do, Gash.
I'll take sort of like it uses 2 gold pieces on it turning out heads.
All right.
You know, it's much more happy now that there's something being gambled on with the whole throw. They flip the coin, and it lands on heads.
Oh.
Liam is thoughtfully stroking his chin, looking at Roland. And then he shakes his head. No.
Well, at least metaphorically, these Zentarim's heads have just rolled.
We should still talk to them, however.
It's better than anything else we've got. Well, he doesn't seem particularly interested in actually having action to the...
Oh, he got his buddy. I'm sure he's happy.
I think I will go off and see Lord Salroon. He always appreciates a good game of cards.
You do that, sure.
Just be careful, anyway.
Off. Having spent a lot of his time with the Lord Salroon.
Who was that again?
The Archmage.
The Archmage, okay.
The chess master.
Yeah, they seem to both have some sort of a gambling addiction.
Great.
Well, we have a king to talk to, and we have some Zentarum to talk to.
Sure.
Who do we talk to first?
Speak the thing. Who do you want to talk to first?
Yeah, who do we want to talk to first, guys?
Also, those 2 gold pieces were half my wealth.
Oh dear, that's fine.
Well, that
Very high stakes.
I think we should talk to the king first, see what he says.
Alright, sure.
Sure. Do you want that like when it's time to speak to the king in the throne room, or do you just go to his private area?
I mean, if it is up to Gash, we just go to him. We're adventurous. He expects that sort of behavior.
We're not gonna stomp in, but we're just gonna, be like, hey, we just talked to you.
Sure, there are guards by his door. Looking at you as you come knocking. They just open the door for you. Seems that the king is somewhat open with these sorts of things. You can walk into his room where he's working some ledgers currently. Looking over to you and giving you a smile as if you've just saved his life.
Well, maybe we have.
I know that feeling.
You heard about the murder, eh?
Indeed. How long would it take to get everyone who will potentially participate in the expedition into one room?
That depends on who you've got to agree to aid you.
Well, let's just assume that everyone sort of wants to help us, but
She'll frown slightly.
I'm an optimist, really. No, the point being that we have reason to believe that whoever, did the murder this morning, that undoubtedly you have heard of, is part of the expedition.
Looks at you just. And what gave you that idea?
Well, according to his corpse, he was discussing the logistics of the expedition with his killer.
Slowly. And on that matter, who have you gotten to aid you?
We have definitive deals with most of the factions. Of course, the Zentarum are a bit of a questionable ally.
He knows and says, aye, but it's good to have them. I would not have them act against us. We would stand much weaker without them, and so I invited them to begin with.
Maybe you can front the 20% goal then, in that case. Just saying.
Issue is that taking them up on their offer leaves them very powerful if we do end up surviving this.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? If we don't survive, then it would have been a foolish move not to ask for their help.
Well, if we don't survive, then their help doesn't matter anyway, so...
Seems like the logical thing.
Seems like a loss-loss, whatever we do.
Well, I certainly think we should put all the cards on surviving with whatever methods we have at our disposal. Either way.
To survive if they bleed us dry of all of our resources. I seem more interested in lining their own pockets than actually helping.
That profit can be used to our advantage.
Until they decide they're sick of us.
Well, perhaps we should focus on this more immediate manner first. I continue to refuse to believe that it was the Zentarum who are responsible for this matter.
The corpse told us that he could not believe who it was that pushed him, which seems to implicate that it was a dear friend of some sort, who he had no idea was in a treacherous mood, or it was an illusion, or a doppelganger, or something similar.
An apparition in a tomb nearby let slip that it was one of his kin.
We also found this hair.
So all in all, we're currently looking at all the red-haired dwarves in any position of power
that are somehow involved in the expedition and seem very close to.
Is this some sort of elaborate way to ask me?
I wasn't going to be elaborate, but obviously we should make sure that these things are in fact nonsense. I at least believe that there might be demonic influence in play, but we have no way to detect such a thing. So we're open to suggestions.
Very well, didn't I do it? She looks at you. Now, how are you going to prove that I did?
Honestly, we were just coming here to ask for suggestions and to offer our current state of our investigation, not to
Accuse you.
Strictly accuse you.
That's
Hey,
definitely not our
How
intention.
are you going to prove that anyone did?
Well, that's the problem, isn't it?
Hey,
Certain
you can ask, but I can answer whatever I want.
certain clerics and paladins have the ability to force truth. I know.
Not as I, but if demonic possession is involved, then someone might not know that they did, eh? There is a way, however, I think. I spoke to you earlier when you asked what you could do for me. I noted that there had been the poisoning, that there was some way we could find out.
Yes.
I imagine with all this business you've been to, that you forgot. Should not, it's natural. A creature lives in the depths of this place.
Oh.
We've slain her once before, but she returns to life. Immortal, it is said. A gatherer of knowledge. It seems that the longer you stay in this land, the more of your secrets and the less information you have that is worth anything to her. And I don't know if you stayed for long enough, but we have been unable to find anything that would truly satisfy her desire for new knowledge. You might try asking her if she knows so much about us. She sort of nods, looks a little uncomfortable, and as she does, then perhaps she might also know whom could be the possessed one.
It seems
Well.
we should seek her out then.
You certainly seem confident of her abilities.
He nods, says, yes, I have approached her to see why she would return here after we made it rather clear that we did not want her kind around. She knew already what I would say. Most of it, anyway. But we had never spoken before. Foul magic it is, but there is no point in wasting lives, killing again what you cannot slay forever.
Certainly true.
I had planned to speak to Lord Zalrun about it, but he seems more interested in staying here and dealing with his own things, preferring perhaps not to hurt what does not hurt him or others. She has so far not attacked us in any way.
Well, I, for one, am not going to point out that sometimes foul magic can be useful, because that would be ironic.
Yep.
Well, this place is built on the body of a sleeping primordial. Just my sleeping this, and yet from it we forge weapons of righteousness and good. Eh?
Exactly.
I always say, do what you must, and in some respects, it cuts for this too. She looks at the papers, looks out there. Clearly, he did not perhaps want to be the king of Contalgrim, though a great honor it is. Lord Battlehammer, in fact, used to, at least some of you might know and share, used to be ruler of Mithril Hall until he faked his death so that he could get away from being in such an administrative position. Only to successfully recapture Contalgrim, and someone had to.
Yeah, well, that's how you know he's a good king, because he didn't want to be one.
He wants to be out there doing what you do.
That's right. Well, you know, he has quite a legend.
Oh yeah, he's been many places, done many things.
He can live vicariously through us for a while. It's fine.
That's pretty much what he's doing.
Yeah.
Beyond that, there are still the forges, though they have sort of taken less of an interest now.
Once this matter is dealt with, I'm sure we can take a look at it then.
As I have been unable to speak to them. My captains have said that they speak a language that none of us know. We have not dared push the issue further without knowing what they say. Would be likely to lead to violence.
Hmm.
I'm not shy of that, of course, but
I think we
for
can.
creatures we do not know.
I'm sure we can talk to them.
Oh yeah, there's
We
always
have
a way.
ways.
We have ways.
You know,
Well,
Maybe they speak abyssal. That'd be funny.
I mean,
I have no idea why I took that language, but it's fine.
we go and begin writing down in dwarven runes
from,
directions for how to get to this
it's from
to this
Riordan's,
lady of knowledge.
It's from Riordan's like teen death metal years.
What? Oh
Yeah,
right, yeah.
You're Abyssal. Because you thought it was cool and edgy.
Band called Heart Shark.
Yeah, Heart Shark. And he was you don't know it, but Riordan is a really good growler.
Riordan.
He can really be like he can do that really good.
Real death.
Yeah.
Bloodspark.
Murder, death, done.
Heavy metal bard.
Blood, gore, spark.
Of the Band of the Ravens song.
Yeah, tears.
I have to remind you, it's not for us restraining him. Royal would be walking around with the dead parts of his enemies.
Right.
As well.
Yeah, it's a calling back to my earlier years that awakened my teenage phase again.
Raven Death Tears is a great band,
He would carry all the pieces of the enemies, but he keeps eating them instead.
No, that's not something he thinks he can physically do.
It's like those dog snacks you get. It was like a pig's ear, and
Just don't try and convince him that he can, because then he will have to
Yeah.
punch him. So,
Don't suggest that is possible.
I mean, it's fine because.
Did you hear of that man that ate rebar? And he's like,
I can.
Oh god.
give me your sortium.
Let's try to eat
That would
Dawnbringer.
end badly for everyone involved.
Yeah.
I mean, would it be worse if we tried to eat Dawnbringer?
I mean, he'd smite the evil within me, so I'm sure.
What does it taste like? Probably,
It's a blade made of light.
Yeah,
Burning.
citrus.
Tastes
Probably.
like burning.
Tastes like my brain burning from the inside.
Roasted tongue, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Roasted halfling.
Long pig. Anyway, the king will hand you the note. That's sort of a note. He says, when you have more information, I suppose we can speak more. He looks at you slightly hopeful that you might have more that you want to talk about.
Anything to get away from the bugs.
I think we'll return when we have more.
Oh, the squire of the dead paladin might ask you for help to send some messages. It would be very helpful if that could be arranged.
He'll nod and look back to the ledgers, some numbers somewhere. His eye. Let's give you a nod and he goes back to his ledgers.
I was hoping we could figure out this murder mystery with our own means, but apparently we have to rely on some sort of creature to do it, which is disappointing.
I thought you were the one who liked making deals with strange things.
Contrary to popular belief, I do not.
Can you up your volume a bit, DDS? I can barely hear you.
No, but this might be better.
Yes.
Now, I will assume that was simply a jib, and you do not want a philosophical discussion about what it really means to accept help from questionable sources.
Oh god, no, please.
I think Riordan will just give a long groan.
I think we can save that for another time.
I will go to the bar if that's the case. You can just come and get me.
I could write 3 books sketch on your lectures at this point.
Please don't. You wouldn't catch the accent properly.
Probably, yeah.
Let's follow some directions then, I think.
Sure.
I mean, you could stay and try to figure it out on your own.
No, I think we'll go. We need to. This is we might as well attempt it. Let's see.
If we could, how would we though?
I have no idea.
We won't. We can't. Like it's bigger than what we can like actually.
Like
figure out, I
the
think.
problem is that the two like potential suspects right now are Eldef and the king, and we can't just chain them up to a chair and like punch it out of
Oh
them.
no, hey, the Centaurium lady is a suspect. Come on.
She's not a dwarf.
But she can disguise herself.
Hey,
That's
we
the
have
issue.
like a dude who can turn himself into whatever he wants. You know, right here in our party.
I mean, do you still have do you still have polymorph, by the way?
I do, yeah, but that's
Which I know. I'm just pointing out. That means you have a transmutation spell, and I have an illusion spell that can do stuff like this. Like,
yeah.
We have one who can disguise himself and one who can literally transform into things.
But then we couldn't find out who did it at all, other than assuming it was the bad people.
And they're both murderers.
No.
You're also murdered.
I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying, you know, that.
And now Cinder is as well because of you.
No, not because of me. He did that himself.
You were being chaperone.
No, Cinder says he killed those orcs himself.
Yeah, see?
No, he doesn't need anybody's help. He can do
He
it.
doesn't. He's a good boy.
He's strong, you know.
Yes.
Big dragon.
Yeah. Well, we're working on it.
I mean, he's been getting bigger quite quickly. So.
I'm feeding him a lot, you know.
Give him a few hundred years and. Oof.
I've been
Lots
feeding
of
him a lot
protein.
with battle about. I've been the one cooking for him. Well, as much cooking as a dragon needs. It's not much.
Well, let's go visit this lady. Or creature, monster thing, whatever.
We might as well. We don't have another plan at the moment.
What do we know about Nagas? Okay.
What do we know about Nagas? That's a good question.
Well, why don't you roll me some sort of check about Nagas?
I'll aid
I
Liam.
mean, they sound very magical.
Can I try history check?
They are magical, but also, yeah, history. You could do history.
Yeah, I'll aid either Liam or Gesh. I don't know if you're both.
Oh,
I don't know if you're
Critical
both.
history.
The history.
I am a bard.
Oh, you are a bard. Yeah, it's very fitting. Let's see what I know Arcana-wise.
Yeah, I'll aid your Arcana because I can.
I'll roll my own Arcana like a big boy.
Sure. So historically, the Nagas are believed to have been created a very long time by sort of magical means or divine means even, to serve as guardians for ancient treasures of, well, who knows, really. They've been around as long as history has. No one's ever really been able to tell why they're around. Nagas themselves are said to be immortal and also hoarders of knowledge. They live forever. They don't die. Magically speaking, with those roles, you would know that there are generally also two types of Nagas. There are nice Nagas, or good Nagas, and evil Nagas. However, all Nagas have a tendency to lord and rule and dominate everything they talk about. If it's a good Naga, he might do it for your own good. If it's a mean Naga, he might do it because it feels good, or it wants to. The Nagas generally, again, they can live forever. They don't eat, they don't drink, they don't breathe, they don't sleep. They don't do anything that really seems to make them physical. If they die, they would simply return to life and reappear from whatever state they're really in. Generally, good Nagas generally have very long-term plans to thwart evil, and they sort of try to engineer everything to work in that direction. Evil Nagas more likely want to just have stuff for themselves. They like. They are fairly powerful creatures altogether. They have a lot of spellcasting abilities and generally can also be very poisonous. Any particular questions? Hyper intelligent. Interesting.
So even though it's completely against Gadget's character to believe any such thing, but is there a physical difference between good and evil Nagas?
Yes. Very obvious physical differences.
Oh, good. What are they?
The evil ones look evil. They want to look good.
Uh-huh.
That is
Ah.
literally how it works.
Oh.
The good ones generally have palatable looks like golden green colors. Evil ones are red or black and have like vicious fangs and like hideous faces. There's a very obvious difference.
I guess it would be very obvious then.
I mean, do note they have a bunch of magic, so they could just illusion themselves to look good anyway. So
So you say attack first, ask questions later. That's what I'm hearing.
no, I'm just saying, be careful.
Charge!
Okay.
I will spirit you away from this place then. As you descend to the darkness of old Control-Grim. The path leads you sort of through the main civilized part of the city and into more ruined, less restored areas. Generally, like you can see a few giant spiders like struggling over some sort of meal, perhaps a goblin or an orc, or some sort of straggler, perhaps even a drow that's been sort of strung up and is being eaten. The dwarves are few. I mean, the organized resistance against them have sort of faded, but many of the people they brought there are not people who stayed in Gauntlgrim. Spiral Vanguard, for example. Instead, they were people who aided them in getting rid of the evil that dwelled here, solving the bigger issue, and who have now moved on with their own things, leaving dwarves here to sort of take care of the place themselves, which they have dutifully stayed and done. They have, however, not cleaned out the whole place. That would be very difficult. And if they were to do it, they can't really keep an eye on it long enough that things don't just creep up from the Underdark and fill it again anyway. The area you're going into looks like it might have once been used as some sort of either storage chambers or just, I mean, it's hard to tell. Storage is likely, though, as the halls are sort of high and vaulted. The paths are broad and allow for quite a few different people walking along them. It is generally dark in here. I'm walking this way.
I currently do not have a Dawnbringer drawn.
Yeah. Creature with dark vision can, of course, see fully. But to most of you, it is certainly very black, sort of everywhere. As you go in here, though, you can sort of hear, even with your passive perception, just sort of crawling and skittering from somewhere along the ceiling of this vaulted sort of chamber. And in the distant, you can see a green light shine from around a pillar.
Well, considering the situation, I think it would be appropriate if I did the job.
Seems appropriate, yes.
Up above, you can see a big red eye glinsing. Something is clinging to the ceiling, looking down.
Liam looks back up at it.
We can't tell what it is.
You just see the eye. It is about the size of, about the size of a knotted fist.
Not a fan.
Well, let us
All
just
peering
assume.
down as you enter.
Let us just assume that this Naga does in fact know we're coming, because that's her job, I suppose, and wants to talk to us, so we don't have to worry about anything here.
Of course, Gesh. I'll just keep behind you.
Of clammy, small hands and feet sort of scrawling across the ceiling. Creatures there. The few glimpses I see of them are sort of almost wet-looking slimy humanoid-looking creatures, just skin almost like ooze, massive eyes staring constantly at you, moving back and forth between all of you, just constantly staring and almost hungrily watching you.
So is this supposed to be like the place where the Naga hangs out, or is it further
I mean,
down?
this is where the place leads you to. Yeah.
Okay.
As down a pillar, coiling, comes a massive black serpent, not looking like a snake as much as a centipede, but without legs, sort of coiling down. A face mostly covered with black, sort of thin hair. He's sort of in front as the creature coils down and races up on the floor with a thump. Large and hideous, the face of a, well, I'll just show you.
It's me. Oh, hello.
From behind it, the flaming
That's the
green
good one.
continues as two of what seems to be assistants, advisors, will come. Two green flaming skulls
Oh, these guys.
moving alongside of it, illuminating the area for everyone to see. As the Naga sort of races up and looks at you, this sort of distorted face.
Well, that's not the good one.
The eye things looking from above down at you, constantly blinking and sort of scrambling.
Well, Gash will, after a moment of hesitation, perhaps like inwardly having hoped for a more pleasant sight, will do something that he really doesn't do much, but can do very well, which is bow down very deeply and be as pleasant as possible. As he'll bow down and then say, "Greetings, we have come to seek information in exchange for whatever we have to offer that you might be interested in."
Sort of turns its head, almost moving it back and forth like a bird trying to gauge a distance. It slithers slowly closer. We're here to wrap its long sort of body around a pillar. The skulls sort of hovering with it, dominating everything. It says, "Gesh, I awaited you. You've come to me now, haven't you?"
I appear to have done so,
Seek
yes.
information. I have that and more. See you, sort of admiring Gesh's black scales, watching him. What do you wish to know, and what do you offer in return?
We wish to know the identity and the way to combat whatever saboteur is currently making its rounds around Goldrigram, trying to sabotage our expedition.
Watches you, licking its distorted teeth.
As for what we have to offer in exchange, I am not entirely sure what would be appropriate, what you would be interested in the first place. I've heard you enjoy secrets, information, those things, of which we undoubtedly possess a few.
Francis, think of them for me. Your secrets. Are they valuable? Sort of licks its teeth again, coiling, almost tightening around the pillar in excitement.
How do you value a secret?
I mean, is it based on personal value? Or is it based on worldly value? Good question. Good question. How do you value a secret? Is it based on your own, what you personally believe it's worth?
Who knows?
What it's worth to someone else?
The skulls sort of click and hover, moving lights.
Liam shifts uneasily. Doesn't like this.
In this trade, what will happen to our secrets other than you knowing them, I suppose?
If they are interesting to me, they will become mine, and I will use them as I see fit.
That's fair enough. And you
hidden stashes, Gesh. Do you have knowledge hidden away?
Oh,
Do you have treasure?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have traitorous thoughts?
Yeah.
You're asking questions. The red eyes from above blinking and constantly staring, piercing you almost.
Rin is very uncomfortable right now.
One of the creatures just blinks a few times quickly before scampering down a pillar to whisper in the Naga's sort of ear.
I think all of us have secrets aplenty. So if we have a deal, then how is this going to work?
We are just speaking. You are in a hurry then. Just looking at the creature who came down to her. Slightly annoyed, perhaps, as it scampers up again.
Well, as much as I'm enjoying the conversation, we're mostly here in a business sense to exchange, well, information as it turns out, but I have to admit, curious.
Curious about what?
Well, curious in general, really, but why are you here below Gauntlet Rim?
There is much knowledge here. Centuries knowledge. Many vaults lie hidden with no opening and only puzzles keeping them closed. The secrets of this place are mine to take. I know what the people here know. I know what you know, Gesh.
But you don't know what's in the vaults, and it does not look like you have the ability to enter those vaults.
It seems to just move, slithering. That is true. The dead do not enjoy speaking to me, and I cannot see their mind.
Well, I would assume the dead do not have many ways to acquire new secrets, as it were, or experiences, so they would be loath to give up those that they have. Besides dwarfs, right?
Their heads are very empty a lot of the time. Metallurgy, weaponsmithing, things I have no need for. Liam, come closer and let me see you. You have grown since last you were here.
Liam
Taller, I
doesn't
think.
move.
Laying the moves on you.
Oh, so the two of you have met before?
No, but he was seen, and I know everything.
Liam shifts uneasily.
The big red eyes above blink and stare at him. Knowingly, perhaps. Almost accusingly.
Anything interesting?
Not to me.
Looks over to Gesh with a slightly murderous look.
Riordan. Hutzbach. Another one of the weird creatures comes down, whispers more things. Your family holds much knowledge, but it is unavailable to you. He looks over. And you, elf.
Browns.
He looks at the rest of you. A third creature scampering down, before scampering up again. They do not know your real name, even. You are fascinating to me, new travelers, but I do not think you have much more. The eyes blinking, staring, digging. So, Gesh, what can you offer me? What secrets might you have hidden that I do not already know? It seems that you do not even know what you carry.
Well, doesn't that make the secrets oh so much more juicy if not even I know them?
Blinking eyes above, constantly blinking, just looking at you, almost taking a picture, then blinking. Continuing and continuing, scampering down and whispering in this creature's ears. Because every time it happens, it coils, enjoying it clearly. A euphoria, perhaps, spreading through its body as it learns new things, squeezing the pillar it's wrapped around.
I mean, it seems to me that we're already paying for something, not getting anything in return. Perhaps we should just leave.
Clicks its teeth. There is something I would desire from you in return for the knowledge you come with. You can do more than just speak to me. Looks to the skull. This place is getting more dangerous. Its hosts do not enjoy my prying eyes. I know of a wizard staying in these halls. His skull would be good in my collection.
I think that's a no.
I know not his name, but he has been here for a long time. I do not know what he's doing, but some sort of experimentation, I'm sure. He knows how to avoid me, how to hide his secrets from me. I have not seen him, ever.
Oh, I thought you meant the Archmage.
No.
Bring me his skull.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Then I will tell you who's the evil one killing your faction, people. No, clearly not.
Well,
He has produced creatures who are not alive, and they defend his place.
Necromancer.
He sneers at my servants, and I will not have it any longer. Kill him, or take his skull in some other way.
Do we have a
Bring it to
skull-taking
me,
spell?
and I shall add it to my collection. Flaming skulls. Then I shall reveal to you who your traitor is.
Alright.
that seems like a fair trade.
Licks its teeth. Eyes still staring. And if you have more you wish to know, Gesh, I'm sure there is much more we can discover.
I certainly have many questions, but I'm very aware of the price usually associated with these generous offers.
He looks into your eyes. A beautiful gaze, perhaps, mesmerizing in some way. I promise that if staring too long, you could get lost.
For now, I think we will do the job that you've suggested, and then, well, we'll see, won't we?
It just sort of twists and turns. Licking its teeth once more, coiling up towards the ceiling. The unseen darkness that is there as the skulls sort of retreat into other rooms, facets in the wall, leaving you alone with the staring eyes watching you.
We'll just leave.
Agreed.
Well, which way do we have to go to find this wizard? Is it back the way we came?
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Let's go.
it is. In fact, it is in a different area above this one.
Okay.
Then we ordered and roll. I think I'll go doing the right move by making hastily.
A place that once was an artisan's quarter.
Have we heard anything of an errant wizard hiding out there doing stuff?
Nope.
No.
Well, now we have.
It is outside the area that dwarves have sort of scoured.
No.
He can hide himself that well. I'm sure nobody knows.
I mean, you know, he might be like, "Oh, that's brutal. Badham's cousin." You're like, "Oh no."
You just killed my cousin. Now
Yeah.
you must die.
Yeah.
Now we get a second murderer.
But you hated him.
Yeah. Making your way to the specified place is really sort of easy enough. I mean, not much really blocking your way there, and it's not in a particularly hidden location. As you go here, you see a sort of a long street, what might have been one of the main streets at one point. This sort of floor or area, and lots of different what seems to be old like shops or craftsmen's areas, artisanry. You know, see things that could suggest one place had once been a goldsmith and such. You kill some sturges that were hanging out in the area. Generally, it's pretty destroyed and abandoned. Clearly looted as well. Like there's nothing that appears to be of value anywhere. Nor does it appear to be in particular use given how little defensiveness it has. The place you're going to, though, stands out in some way, because outside there appears to be a broken statue of a minotaur. It has been broken, desecrated, someone has like splattered something all over it, but it is unmistakably a nice looking statue, or once was. Entering the place, you are met with similar sights. A broad entranceway leading into a roomy, well, what seems to be some sort of hall. It is full of broken stone and still statues, many different sorts. Stony figures simply left here.
Oh, lead the way, Liam, I suppose.
Maybe it's a good time to actually pull up my main weapon for going in.
Ooh.
I do not like the feeling I'm getting.
No, we should look for traps and similar things here.
We can take a look around. Unfortunately, our best perception still is not here, but we can still do some work.
Horrible feeling these things are gonna animate and kill us all, but that's okay.
Mm.
It happens.
But you know, at least we tried our best.
Yeah. We never got to marry Gesh though.
No.
I mean,
None of you are ever going to marry Gash.
we still have opportunities.
I mean, that Naga is the closest, you know.
Are you saying both of them black scales?
She seems to match him fairly well.
As you enter the room, taking your first move to step inside, you hear a voice. Curious! You come at an opportune time, my little feathered friends.
Did he just call us feathered?
That's what I heard.
I mean, he's a crazy wizard, you know. Or it's like a recorded message.
Just like magic mounts posted all over the place.
Yeah, might be. Liam wants to look around for traps or anything else suspicious in here.
Sure.
Sure. Just looking around, digging through the stone piles and
Poking
poking
carefully.
the statue.
I have a foldable like 10-foot pole that I take out and poke around with.
Uh-huh.
Sure, we can look around like stuff like that.
Sounds like you want to do active perception.
Yes.
Yes. I will help you. Not that it matters. That's fine.
22.
Ooh.
You go around poking things. Roll perhaps like, I don't know, looking for traps in other ways.
I mean, he's a rogue himself.
Spotting things. How would I make a trap? As you look around or poke at stuff and such, you hear the voice continue. Intruders! Cease your thievery or burn!
Hmm.
Oh,
Screaming
not
loudly.
again.
And you hear creaking from some of the statues.
Roland pulls back and lifting his shield.
Does anyone else follow into the room? Usually
Um,
right behind the door.
You can stay behind for now.
what if we get... Okay, sure.
You know, at least if nothing else, the two tanks are the ones in front right now.
Yeah,
If you get locked out, Riordan can teleport.
Yes. Only myself, though, because I can't bring anyone with me because I'm too small.
You're too small.
Yeah, I can only bring
As
a creature of my
stepping
size.
down from its pedestal, one of the statues moves.
Interesting.
You can see the movement.
Seemingly going towards you, reaching out big, lumpy hand.
Liam, ever fought a statue before?
Yes. React to this
When
quickly.
I trained some of the dwarven guards.
That's a big statue, but well, what's my range on this? Because I have an idea.
Is it Anna?
It is 90 feet. No, it's much better. Liam is going to love it.
Oh, great.
Is it East?
As Gash from the back will cast Hold Monster on the statue.
All right.
Might be immune to paralyzation and stuff. I'm not sure.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, it's
Throw the spell at it. It appears to be unable to grab hold upon the creature.
Well,
It's a
Possibly has
magic
no mind.
effect.
do I? Oh, magic.
Any magic?
This, at least.
It's a golem, so it might be immune to magic.
Do I lose the
Oh.
spell?
Yes.
Fuck. Well, magic doesn't work, so I suppose we'll have to punch it to death.
Creaks.
Force still does work, I believe.
Yeah. Or it does.
Like,
Well, it takes a moment to question what are these things?
Sure.
Arcana check.
It appears to be a moving statue. There are many magics that can make a statue move. It could be an animated statue. It could be a build, like moving statue. It, however, does not appear to be a golem. It simply does not have the craftsmanship and all the functionality, the way it moves suggests that the statue actually doesn't have distinct limbs, but is more moving as a unit.
So
Basically, it was not built to move.
oh, so
Interesting.
obviously controlled then somehow maybe.
That's interesting.
Oh, Reardon can try something. But you go ahead, do whatever you want to do. It's not going to affect me.
Annoyingly for me, the slightly annoying thing about going first is I have no one. I have no one to I have no partner for road powers. First.
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess could have helped out, right?
I think I want to. No, he's too far away.
Yeah,
pull out your sword though. I need to see it. That's for sure.
I have the sword out, so
Oh, good, good. Okay.
you can see.
Yay.
The room is also slightly illuminated by torches, so
There's
Oh,
also
that's
sunlight sword now,
actually
isn't
not a
there? So,
problem.
All right.
but
Assume you can see it.
oh, I suppose damage is damage. They can always move up, I suppose. I'm more defensive style, having a sword and shield for the moment. But what is the best? As Roland will also go ahead and try to slice it with Dawnbringer.
Sure.
That's
You hit.
the hit.
Statue seeming to be very bad at dodging. Actually, not really doing it at all.
That's actually very good to know. And then, since I can, free disengagement to move back.
Yeah.
Moving, smashing at it, cracking its side. Jordan.
Well, just to eliminate the possibility, I don't think this is going to work, but might as well try to know for next time. Reardon is going to cast Dispel Magic on the statue itself.
Sure.
Uh,
Dispelling magic.
so, basically, any level, any spell or that has a level equal to what I cast, which is 3, is instantly dispelled. But if there's anything else that is a greater level, then I need to do an ability check with my spellcasting ability, and the DC is equal to I can't see the rest of it.
10 plus the spell level.
10 plus the spell level. So I'm gonna choose a creature as a target. So any spell
Affecting it.
yes, or I need to roll for each single separate one.
Sure.
So
There is one spell affecting it.
okay. So this would be
And it's greater than 3rd level.
Yes.
so this is +5, right? Yeah. Just roll this.
So you dispelled level 14
Well,
spell.
Yes. The spell effect is ended. And you see the statue just freeze
Okay.
and stand in its place.
Well, we can assume they're being controlled somehow from somewhere. Ren will move up beside Liam.
Sure. Liam.
Well,
As by the way, roll move over here, he notices here, across from this archer statue, there's a bunch of holes in the wall.
Roland will load a bit onto this then.
It appears to be about the size of like slightly bigger than like a pin or something like that.
That sounds like a trap.
And they're sort of spread out slightly in an arch.
Okay.
Yeah, probably like blow darts. That's it, right?
Possibly.
Well, you tell Liam this?
Roland would have said this when he saw it. So.
Okay.
Let Liam walk into it, see what happens. What could go
In that
wrong?
case, Liam will move sort of here, not step into the arc itself, I guess. Let's see here. How far away is the statue? Do the statues seem to be fast?
About as fast as you might expect. Not as slow as you could, though.
Well, Liam will go here. He'll have his sword out and he's going to be ready to fight next turn. But it's not, he doesn't want to step into the trap area unless Roland has, solve that problem.
Moves over here.
Hi.
Hello.
Unable to move fast enough to strike.
That is
Gash.
Well, I'm just going. Well, Gash is just going to walk in here, which may or may not be a mistake.
Yes.
Sit in the corner, and well, magic in general doesn't work, but surely throwing dark power at statues will do something.
Power always works.
So that's that. 11 and 24.
11 and 24. 2 hits.
Okay.
1. 4 stamina.
And Finger Muncher will assist Roman.
2 hits. Easy to hit, I guess.
Which sounds like power attack territory for you.
Yeah.
That is certainly my cue too.
"19 points of radiant damage will slash through.
Radiant cutting and blowing through it. Reorder.
Then augment the skin.
Well, it's almost dead, so I'm not gonna waste a spell on it. Magic doesn't seem to work on it as well. So.
Eldritch Blast works.
Force damage, though, certainly might. So he's gonna move so he can actually hit it. There, and blast away.
He's basically magically punching something.
Yeah. True.
Shatter the statue, making it crumble all over the floor.
Alright then.
Well,
None
we
of
know
the other ones seem moving.
someone seems to be using these statues against us.
Liam takes out the 10-foot pole
Yeah,
and pokes
sort
at
of
the floor.
a snarky voice. Filthy beasts! You're proving more aggravating than you're worth. Now, for my fool of an apprentice, I will burn you and eat your charred little bodies myself.
Yeah, Liam is poking the floor with his pole here, trying to see if he can trigger the trap from afar.
Sure. Ron, looking at it, seems that if there has been a trap, it has probably been triggered a long time ago. There appears to be little evidence of one, at least.
Liam just keeps poking. He doesn't see this.
I mean, Roland's reaction is like go here and like swift action mage hand like poke into the holes to see if anything happens there.
All right. They appear to be quite deep. Going quite deep in. They appear to be empty, though. The statue on the other side not moving either.
It seems safe enough.
Alright, well. I guess we'll
Maybe we'll just keep going. We'll just test it out for you.
Sure.
'Cause
Walk past, nothing appears to happen. You just continue on. You hear you're echoing from beyond this path. Cease or burn!
Whatever.
think we should follow that advice, Liam. Okay.
I mean, I'm how are you going forward? I'm the slightly pyromantic elf who.
Stay back. I'll soak this up. I have stuff to
Rush
soak this up.
fast.
I have evasion. I'm not the biggest concern in the world. But
Well, Gesh can counter it if it's an active spell. So.
not quite Gesh to see. That was quite Gesh because.
Yeah.
I'd have to be very close to counter anything.
Just squishy, stay back. You know, we'll.
Another
Also, I will use the rod here to get a spell slot back.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, do you like open your mouth and like swallow a fog or something from the rod? Like,
No.
Defining the power, a conduit.
Like He-Man. It's just power just flows into him. Alright, well, let's peek around. Hello.
As you step here, something has prepared itself. As a voice sort of speaks out. Let us see how you react. Does it hurt, eh? Does this, you filthy beast? As what appears to be a massive stone ball
Oh, hello there.
charges.
Charges, huh?
moving, jumping off a pedestal,
Wow, that is impressive
Oh,
speed.
That
Hello.
is going pretty hard.
smashing
All right,
into
well,
you. Well, maybe into you.
Has he been running with the balls before?
it's
It even gets to go first.
wow,
I didn't even need to do that.
full speed.
Yeah, it will try to slam into you,
Ow.
critting you.
Yeah,
For
I'll soak
33
that up.
damage.
No problem. I'm
The
a
massive
tank.
stone horns, just like Liam perhaps expecting fire, and not like a massive stone statue flying into his face.
I was
That's not
expecting
good.
fire.
As it
Yeah.
is just right into him.
Is there any help I can
Knocking
get
him
for
back
this?
to the wall.
Not really.
I
because that's a crit.
can't see you because you charged ahead, so I can't help you.
That's a crit.
Well, in that case, I'll take the damage.
You hear a thump, like a thundering sound, and a thump from in there.
Is Liam okay? Roland?
Riordan.
You're fine, okay.
I mean, you probably hear Liam go, I don't know, like whatever the sound of Havoc pushing out all air inside of him.
It's like
Oh,
a
God.
ow. Definitely an ow.
Yeah,
Ooh,
alright.
Ow!
He is
Ow,
going to
that
cast
actually hurts.
Spell Magic again. Hopefully stop it from being...
Alright.
Also, I didn't add the proper modifier. I actually have a +7, so let me do that properly. Cast spell first. Then check.
Conjure all the magic within you.
Charisma. Oh, that's terrible. That's not gonna work.
Nope, that's not gonna work.
Lucky.
Congrats, you dispelled a cantrip.
Yeah, I could. No, I don't think. Oh, it
Lucky.
is an ability check. Oh, it's an ability check. Yeah, I can. I'll try and luck this. 18
18
plus 7.
modifier.
So 23. No, that's more. 25. Sorry.
So what's the result?
25.
So 50 level 1 lower spell.
5. Yes. Yes. The bull ceases its movement, staying there, sort of a horn pressed against like Liam's chest, just stopping moving. I'll leave it there though, because it's impassable.
That's fine. It's a big bull in your face. At least it gives cover, right?
Roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rolling.
Roland just kind of takes a few moments, like, wait, is it still going? Looking through yours.
I got it. I got it. For now.
Ugh.
Is there anything else out there?
Yes. Points over to the right as he sort of stops the gushing blood from coming out of him.
To the right. I can't see anything.
Just, trust me.
Like see feet under the bull.
Okay, Roland doesn't know if this will work on it, but since he can, and there's no way he can reach the statue, he's gonna fire like firing it under or over the statue, going to for a firebolt to see if it will do anything.
All right.
17 to 9 fire damage.
Yeah, it seems to crack it over the chest.
That'll be Roland's turn.
All right. The moving statue sort of moves over here, looming down at Roland as it readies to throw itself upon him. Liam.
Halt,
Ow.
criminal scum.
Halt! Liam moves up here and takes a few swings at moving statue. See if he can do some damage to it.
Magical blade.
Hoya!
So remember, my healing isn't as good as Rilla, so try not to, kill yourself.
Try not to take damage.
If it's an object, I do max damage against it.
Oh yeah,
It is an object.
Well, in that case, goodness gracious.
max damage. What is your max damage?
It's 20. Well, add another. What would that be? Add another 5, so 30, I believe, is my max damage.
What's your damage die on the weapon?
2d6.
So that would be 12 plus 19.
Yeah. 5 damage in both those rolls.
Which is 31.
31.
So 2 times 31,
62.
which is 62.
Damn.
Smash.
Liam cuts into it and sees the magic fall, like it falls apart, like you're cutting into butter, right? Just
Yeah.
the blade made for this. It just slices it up.
Can you slice
It's like
into
that
the bowl
anime
as well?
moment. That
Yes.
anime moment where someone slices through something and first you
Yeah.
don't see anything and then
Yep,
it
just
falls.
Yeah.
two slices, and then Liam strikes a cool pose, and then it just falls apart.
Liam, can you take care of the bowl as well? I don't trust it. not
Sure.
awakening it
I'm
again.
sure I can.
Roland watches
Yes,
this.
you
As,
can. You can destroy the bull as well.
Yeah.
Liam will slice up the ball with a few strikes. Then.
Roland watches this as like Liam cuts these things apart, just like looks down to his offhand dagger, just like
I don't think I need to use my spells anymore.
I don't think I need to use this offhand dagger.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was nice, nice stonework. Now it is absolutely probable.
Direct the shield.
I'm sure this guy is ecstatic that we're destroying his creations or otherwise work that he's put into this.
I may have just gotten Finger Muncher deleted.
What? Did you have
He
a square?
faced into a wall and then disappeared.
What
No.
a shame, Finger Muncher. We'll all miss you.
I mean, but Finger Muncher isn't real, is he?
He's not real.
He's a pseudo dragon, right?
He's a pseudo dragon.
Yes,
Pseudo-
Finger Muncher.
Is that pseudo squared or is that two pseudo?
Pseudo squared. Sine squared.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh,
Don't do that again.
you
I
should
don't know
save,
what
Poor
I
little
did.
guy would earn his freedom.
save his token, Gesh, somewhere.
I mean, his token is basically just
Very
a
little.
picture.
I mean, save it.
It's not even the one I made for you back then.
No,
Because it's
I've already gotten rid of that excellently. All right,
Sure.
let's carry on, shall we?
Yes. Let us. Is there? Let's see. I don't see anything in here. Oh, I see a door over there.
Can I get a little bit of a heal, if possible?
Maybe.
Big.
I could use my second win, but that's more like an in-battle thing, so I'd rather not.
Size. Then cast.
Now I'm under attack.
Oh, he will cast a level fjord. I can't speak. Level
Yes.
4.
Level fjord.
Level fjord.
That's the most Viking
Germans.
spell ever.
There you go.
A
25.
level fjord spell.
That should be enough to get you back up, right?
How much was it?
Norwegian.
29 or 25, sorry.
29. Yeah, that's fine. Perfectly fine.
Oh, 25.
25,
Oh.
29.
So I was at 29.
That was made by accident. I apologize. You're only at 71, I'm afraid. Near 71.
Ah, you're welcome, I suppose.
Thank you.
Wait, that took 2 spell slots off me. What? That's weird. Oh well. It's better. Look at it later. I think I had it. I don't know. It just looked like I had 4, and I updated properly when I used the spell. Who knows? Who knows?
I sure don't.
You continue, seeing an elongated hallway further in.
Okay.
Many
Well,
fewer statues.
Liam,
Ominous silence threatens the room.
Caution, please. This time,
Liam just
don't bull rush in there. If you know what I mean.
Liam glares at Riordan. Rubs his poor chest. And then makes a movement towards Roland and says, well, in that case, how about our resident trickster? Take a look.
I'll just look at the statue and say, this is definitely dwarven stonework.
I mean, would make sense. We are still in Gondelgrim, so...
Looking to Liam. Looking to Liam. Ron's going to nod and extinguish Dawnbringer.
Ah, I can't see.
And
Liam's sword has actually the glow of a torch, so you can...
This torch is on anyway. Just.
And then Roland's going to sneak forward. Or try to sneak forward.
Sure.
Want to check?
Yes. Please.
Do statues have passive perception? That's the question.
You're pretty damn stealthy.
I don't think the party can see me anymore, so.
Well, they can see you. It's just more about quiet here. You're as you sneak past here, you notice some weird, like like indentations in this part of the wall.
What kind of indentations?
Appears to be like a hole the size that you might be able to stick your hand in there, but you can't see what's in the hole.
No, my dark vision can't see. Tell me what's in there.
Sounds like a good time for mage handy.
Is there anything in there?
Do you stick your hand in there?
No, I'll use one of my quick action mage hands I can use.
Sure. You push it in there, and you hear a click as then the wall sort of slides to the side. Some old mechanism grinding, opening a path.
Ooh.
A narrow path, low as well.
Sneak.
As you get to this room and look inside, you see a cluttered room full of boxes and bones. At the end of it, a big sort of demonic-looking stone figure that has not yet been finished. In the room is currently hovering what appears to be a skull moving around slightly, looking at the door.
I can't actually see the room, but I can see like 2 squares for some reason. But
Oh, yes, I will reveal it to you.
yeah,
The skull does not seem to yet react to your presence.
which means Roland's now going to sneak back to the group. Suddenly reappearing as I enter the area filled with Liam's light.
God, scared me again.
Shrugs a little. There's the corridor goes down. I found a small secret passage off to the side that I was able to easily open. And at the very end, there was a small chamber, had some large statue that was being built, and a hovering skull. Which would Roland be able to tell anything about hovering skull with his like magical knowledge and things about it?
He didn't really get a good enough look to it to really see much.
Okay.
Except for it being a hovering skull.
Okay.
You could go closer and like really up close see something, but
He didn't want to set up something else potentially.
You opened a small passage, you said, right?
Who knows?
Can you fit, or
I imagine
Yeah, you
Roland
can
could have got through.
you can fit.
perhaps we should look there first?
Right.
I don't know
You
about
wanna-
bringing Clanky Liam along for now. So maybe me
You
and
want to ask him
Roland can
kindly
stealth.
to stay behind?
Yes, just for the moment. I think Rhiannon will try and stealth as well.
All right.
Fully. I don't know how good this roll's gonna be. Oh, it's terrible.
You are not as much of a ninja as I am.
No.
I mean, it's stealth thing, right? It's only matters if someone's trying to listen to you.
True.
As you go here.
You have message anyway, so. I guess I'll take the lead since it's smaller.
Actually, Besh would
You
let it
hear
follow
a
you.
voice echoing down the hall towards you. You presume to threaten me? You? As voice echoes slightly. What is this?
Rin will turn to Roll and say, let me go first. In case something goes wrong. I can get myself out.
Looks to you with a worried look, but allows you to.
Roll. Rin will step in. Do you see anything at all on the walls along the way?
No, it is very bare.
Okay.
The walls are full of bears.
I mean, that was the best vision in the world. So
No, I
The light
don't.
running out. Darkness.
Uh,
It can barely see Roland anymore.
It's fine. He has the image of the room that Liam is in his mind, so as long as he has that, then he's fine. Is there anything down here? I can't. There we go. It's a very long corridor.
Yeah.
What's just going to end like a 100-foot pit?
Well, he's watching his feet, I'm sure. I can only move 10
Yeah.
feet at a time. It's very frustrating. Also, sometimes my movement
I
doesn't.
mean, you're literally going for a pitch black hallway.
Yeah. Sometimes when I try and move, it takes a while to decide to want to move forward.
Probably follow you on.
All right, there's an opening here. You'll take a peek through. I can't really see anything anyway, so.
It turns, showing darkness. Your vision is very short. And he's basically blind here, just fumbling ahead.
Yeah.
Like there's no light at all.
Can he cast?
Ahead of him, he can see pricks of light through what seems to be a room.
Oh, okay. Well, He will start walking back, and I guess bump into Roland on the way, because he can't see, and tell him as such. Maybe Roland wants to take the lead on this.
As I usually do. Or slip past being the small creature can slip away.
Yep.
Roland with his stealth going to.
Sure. You can see a small room. Light waves of light are coming in sort of across it.
Probably
Really,
get here.
from this wall over here, pricks of light are coming.
Nothing in the room?
It is very bare. Appears to be an old like stone stool in here, but nothing else.
Would it be so? This be fair. It's just a watch position. Keep an eye out for someone.
That would be fair.
Roland will relay this as he kind of moves back towards you.
Oh, nothing else in there, huh?
Not that his eyes saw.
That was a long walk for nothing. We'll start to head back.
On the bright side, Liam's at the end now, so you've got a light source at the very end.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you can still try your best to see what the skull is like, and if it fails, we can just come in anyway, if you'd like. Maybe move in a more advantageous position, like closer. There we go.
Sure. You can try to get a look at it. You will have disadvantage while trying to remain hidden. Just don't, like stick your head up too far or anything.
Well, worst case scenario, we trigger combat, which we're going to do anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's
We're talking only a 15.
Oh, I meant you have your stealth fine. It's just the check on your yeah.
Is a disadvantage.
Like I can check.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's talking a 12 then.
All right. It appears to be a hovering skull. Skulls can hover magically for many reasons. People can make them hover. They can hover by themselves. From your current position, you can't really tell what's up with this one. But it does not seem to notice you. Here.
A whisper goes back to the others saying that basically Roland has no idea.
Okay, well, let's see before we go in. What can I do here? Nothing really. I think we should just.
But you say there's like a half complete statue in here, Manco?
Yes, this.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
Appears to be some sort of hunched over demon thing.
Jones, you back yet, or are we still dragging you?
I think Jones is here. Maybe.
Oh, he went for a bit.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw him moving his token around. That's why I thought.
Oh, okay.
I'm back.
Yeah, I guess you want to go in, right?
I guess. Is that a demi-lich?
No.
No, it just seems. I don't think it's a lich. As far as Roland can tell, it's just a floating skull. We don't know.
Okay, sure. I'm sure it's not a lich.
We tried to check.
Well, if it's a lich, we get to have a fun adventure.
Yes. Peeks around the corner.
Yes, Liam steps out. The voice once more says, "You presume to threaten me?
think we've heard that one before.
As I
I
said,
think these are repeating with messages.
yeah, it is like voice messages. It's just repeating as you
Just
sort of.
like a, yeah.
Which actually,
No,
given
come
the
back,
state,
Skull.
which also given the state of things, how we saw like a watch room that doesn't seem to have been like maintained and everything, it actually makes a lot of sense that this place is like
Around.
abandoned.
You step further and says, "No!"
Liam is like, hello.
Hello.
Intruders! Cease your thievery or burn!
I mean,
Sneaky
we're
rogue.
here to talk, I guess.
Eat your charred little bodies!
Yes.
He waves up and down threateningly.
I feel like this is like like a.
What Roland wants to do here, seeing this, like sneaking around to that, while it's focusing on Liam. We'll dash out and grab it.
See, I don't trust this thing. I think this is gonna shoot like a laser beam down the corridor, so I'm stepping to the side.
Roland moves to grab it. Can you do a dexterity check?
Sure. Just my dex, or do I get my bonus from being my save bonus from being a rogue?
Attack roll. Go with an attack roll.
Okay, we'll attack roll.
Yeah.
Which case I'll just do a short sword attack and we'll use
Get him!
Get him!
Yoink!
Yes, you grab it and try to pull it to you, but something is holding it back.
Let's just start screaming. Like, ah! Let go of me, hoodlum.
Cease! Cease! Cease!
This is comical.
It's kind of funny, yeah.
Filthy beasts! You're more aggravating than you're worth!
Yes.
Yes. We've heard that again.
What was this wrong? This wrong? Like,
Desperate this time. Poke it once more and... Some weird magical echo sound.
Oh.
Then the skull stops being stopped. You can just take it.
All right.
As Roland now holds a skull in one hand, looking at it almost poetically.
Does this seem like the skull we need to find? It's quite easy.
I don't know.
I had assumed we have to kill someone.
This is certainly much easier, but I don't think that's.
I don't know if that's the skull really. Maybe we need to.
Let's take a look at this statue. What's this statue?
Yeah, to poke around a bit here.
It appears to be big, unfinished, some sort of hunched over demon thing. As you walk closer here,
Yeah.
Jordan. Actually, you can't see far at all. Never mind.
Oh. That's good. I gotta step back.
You see
now.
the
I'll
big
just stay here.
unmade statue, sort of looming over big teeth and stuff.
Oh,
Very good craftsmanship, but
I can't identify what type of demon it is. Does it just know if it
you
is?
can try.
What check would that be?
Let's go with like Arcana.
Sure.
Religion. Religion's probably better, but
Well, it's bad anyway.
it's some sort of big monster demon thing.
Yeah.
Roland knows it don't work.
Yeah, Roland will take the skull in one hand over to Liam and ask if he has an idea what this is, though.
Sure.
What is that?
I mean, it's a fancy looking skull.
An idea why it was hovering.
Surely it's a magical thing.
Gash pretty sure that this is very mundane, and the things in it is just glass. It's an ornament.
Well, that's weird.
Can everyone like peek behind the statue? Like, can I walk there, or are these things?
I mean, yeah, you can go back there.
All right, I'm gonna take a peek.
As he goes and sees that something is behind the statue,
Oh,
watching him with yellow eyes. And as it sees him, it sound comes again. Cease! As the weird bird looks upon Jordan.
Oh, it's a kanku.
oh, hello. Well, I mean, Ronan will call over everyone because he doesn't know what this is.
Slumps onto its butt on the ground. Defeated look.
I'm carrying the skull over here.
Were you the one doing this stuff to us?
I believe he tried to pretend that this floating skull was in fact something magical when it's not.
Ah, so that's why she couldn't see because it didn't
Kingu
exist.
roll up from behind the boxes.
Oh,
Greetings. Would you mind explaining your presence here?
Greetings. Would you mind explaining your presence here? It says, mimicking exactly Gesh's voice.
Oh, this is perfect.
Wait. Were they just copying the previous version here, like voice?
Yeah.
Turns
Well,
its head to the side.
Of course, I as a player, I know about Kenku, but I don't think Gesh would. So he
no.
sort of frowns and says, "I believe I asked first."
I believe I asked first.
No, you did not.
No, you did not.
Gesh. I don't
Fine.
think this is.
Gesh.
I am, in fact, Gesh. Hello.
Hello. Mimicking still Gesh's voice. Perfect.
This is
Maybe we should
unnerving.
replace one of these with you again.
What would we know about Kenku, if anything?
That would be like a nature check or history.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I can do history as well.
I got a
Oh
25.
my god, what is my rolls today?
I totally
I
got
might
Kenku.
look at that. Jordan's pretty sure that there are no Kenku in history. At least he doesn't remember them.
I don't remember.
For things.
I fell asleep in that class.
Roland, though, will know that Kenku are, in fact, humanoid creatures. They are generally small and just sort of, not as small as these guys, though. Generally, they're a little smaller than humans, more like dwarves. These guys are particularly small and scrawny, even for Kenku kind. Malnutritioned, perhaps. The ones in the back over here also appear to be somewhat drunk. About Kenku in general, he knows that, physically, they are completely unable to speak with their own voice. They simply don't have one. Instead, they always mimic things they have heard or sounds that they know, and that is their only way of communicating. There are some stories about them and such, but that's not really something that nature really. They generally understand the common primitive define, though. As intelligent as any other humanoid species you would expect.
Well, Brett said you can easily ask them yes or no questions, but you can just give a sentence ending with yes or no.
The Kenku look at you.
As Roland's going to
As
Roland's going to consider, and literally just kind of in front of them, just kind of start explaining what these things are, and all these details. Referring very much like he read it out of a book or something similar.
So, do we know why they keep mimicking us? Is that what they do?
Yes, they tend to mimic things they've heard as their method of communication. They don't tend to actually be able to speak themselves.
So, how are we going to get anything out of them?
Well, that should be easy enough. First of all, considering the sounds we've heard so far, please let me explain before you mimic more sounds. It's driving me insane. What we've had so far, it sounds like that whichever inhabitant used to be here was, in fact, taken care of by, according to the voices we've heard, feathered things, which I presume would be you. So our task here really is over already, although we do need his body, you see.
Unless this is his skull, gosh.
It opens its little bird mouth to clearly say more, as it says, "I shall call you Archimedes." Do you like that? Archimedes. It repeats.
I assume that's your name. Well, hello, Archimedes. Now, you don't seem to be in the greatest of shapes. Is there anything we could do to help in some way?
Sort of looks around, blinking its little yellow eyes, saying, "Help in some way."
That is a yes, I assume.
Yes.
Great. Getting somewhere.
Great.
Very. Now, we're looking for the wizard's body. After that, we can help you out.
So it looks at you. No! Poke it once more and...
So
Roland pokes a skull in his hand.
I don't think that's the wizard. I think that's literally just decoration.
But Roland's still going to poke it.
So I take it you are on good terms with this wizard after all? Yes? No?
Turns its head and says, let us see how you react. Does it hurt? Does this? As it shakes its little head.
He experimented on you, but surely you wouldn't care about his body then.
It shakes its head.
But you don't know where it is?
Charred little bodies.
Irrecoverable, it seems.
His body is charred. Yes? No?
It tilts its head. It seems it doesn't. It doesn't know.
Well...
Its friends over here duck down behind the crates again, now that you're not murdering them. You hear, like, the sound of splashing.
Splashing? What? From where?
Like
Oh,
immediately next to
they're
them.
getting drunk. All right.
Roland looks at his bag and like pulls out a bottle of golden alcohol he's been carrying.
So let's make this a bit simpler for us. Please only answer with either yes or no. Understood?
No.
I love these guys.
You want help, yes or no?
Yes. Just turning its head.
We will give you help if you answer these questions with either yes or no. Understood?
Yes.
Good. Do you know where the wizard's body is?
Yes.
You would rather we do not mess with it, yes or no?
No.
So you would like us to mess with it?
It just turns its head and says, no.
But why? Of course, that's not a yes or no question, so that's difficult.
It says, no! Poke it once more and... Cutting off the line.
Seems he's saying it's dangerous, right?
Is the wizard's body dangerous? Yes or no?
No.
Huh.
Then
Is the wizard dead?
So looks and says, yes.
so then I'm having a hard time understanding what the problem is.
It looks around, gesturing around the room.
Roland's gonna start looking around the room to see if there's a secret passage in here or something.
Sure. He cannot. There's no passage.
Something to do with the statue.
He's still looking around the room.
Mm-hmm. Sure. He does see that the three Kinku down there have like a big mug with foaming ale that they're just chugging, taking turns.
I assume it's a magical item of some sort.
The tankard of unlimited ale.
So, just to reiterate, you know where the wizard's body is, and he is in fact dead, and you in fact hate him, correct?
Yes.
But we still can't get his body.
Just sort of looks around the room.
Is it here in this room?
No.
Hmm. Huh. Was he making this statue?
No.
Were you making the statue?
No.
And who was making the statue?
Why are you making the statue move?
It just throws the line back at you. Then who was making the statue?
It's confusing me a lot.
If only we could get these guys to talk normally.
Would you show us where the wizard is?
No.
Is it dangerous where the wizard is?
Yes.
Could you at least point us in the right direction?
It points at the ceiling.
What?
Above us, correct?
Above us, as in a different layer, or on the surface?
Yes.
Take this one
On
question
the
at a
surface.
time. On this. Oh, the wizard left. Okay. But he's dead, right?
He's dead. So who? What? Oh,
It nods, seemingly a little frustrated that you can't seem to understand what it's trying to say.
he left, but he's also dead. He's not here.
Is he undead?
It looks at you and says, "No."
Well, that's good.
So he is somewhere dead, and we need his body, but we don't know where he is, except above us in general.
Do you think we know how to write?
If we had Cyril, we could just scry him. I mean, I
If
don't
not
know.
for my fool of an apprentice, I would burn you and eat your charred little bodies.
Oh. Is his apprentice still alive?
She says, it tilts its head.
Is this body near the magma forge?
It opens its mouth and makes like a weird roaring sound.
Oh.
Sounds like something you've heard somewhere before.
Can I try and recall?
Sure, yeah,
Intelligence
let's
check?
go intelligence check. Or nature for that matter.
I don't have nature, but give it a go.
I have intelligence.
There you go.
20.
I mean, I beat you over 25 still. So,
It's a crit though. It's worth more, right?
I mean, natural 20s aren't just good auto succeeds.
It seems like Roland, Jordan, just not getting high enough for this, would be able to identify this as the distant roar of a land shark. Guess remembers hearing this voice
Oh, this
Oh,
guy.
that's the guy.
The Bulette, right?
Yeah, the
Or-
Bulette with the apprentice ghost.
Oh.
Yeah, Roland just, as he's going along, just says, "Oh, that was the noise of Bulette," not even thinking about what it means.
This is out loud. Yeah.
To do with
Right.
research.
You have the key, right? Or did he? He did give it to you.
Did
Well,
you
yeah,
check
sure.
it there?
Cease your thievery or burn. Curious, you have come at an opportune time, my feathered little friends.
What, you
Let
mean
us
that-
see how you react. Does it hurt? Does this?
Hmm.
Filthy beasts! You're proving more aggravating than you're worth. If not for my fool of an apprentice, I would burn you and eat your charred little bodies. You? What is this? You presume to threaten me? No! Poke it once more and then a strange magical warping sound.
Well, it seems that wherever they tried to get in exploded, which is probably why we need the key that the apprentice gave us, right?
What, this
To
key?
Roland. Yes,
We never found that wizard tower, did we?
but maybe it's
No.
here. Not sure though.
Because, yes, that's still written on my character sheet.
As he looks at
Yeah.
you, gesturing to the skull.
Oh, you know what?
Thievery.
Is there a keyhole in the skull?
No. There appears to be a skull. He goes over and picks it up. Putting it over here. Just be
Oh.
happy for having it.
Okay, well, alright.
How am I going to do Hamlet scenes now?
So
aggravating.
you stole from the wizard and poked something you shouldn't have?
Yes.
Is that
Well,
the reason why he is now dead?
Yes.
Is that location nearby?
It tilts its head, seeming incredulous. Is that location nearby?
I love these guys. They're great.
wow. Okay. To summarize why we're here, we need that wizard's skull. Period. No question about it. Can you do something to assist us?
It looks at its skull and pushes it towards Riordan, looking sad.
Oh,
Well, there we go.
picks it up.
Big tears roll over its beak.
Now, just to make sure we're not misunderstanding, we need the wizard's head, as in the skull inside his former head, not some decoration that happens to be a skull and also in the wizard's possession.
Turns its head and says, "Wizard skull."
Weird we'll pick it up and just bow a little and say thank you.
Wipes away a tear.
Oh,
Its big bird eyes look at you pleadingly.
All right.
Its beak
How
trembles.
how would you five like to go to Gauntlegrim? Sleep in a proper bed. Get some food.
It looks at you suspiciously.
I did
Yes.
offer to help.
Yes, yes, yes. Gauntlegrim. Food.
we would
Proper bed.
certainly offer a trade. We wouldn't want to leave you empty-handed.
You gave us the skull, so we'll get you up there and see what the king says. But first, there are many boxes here, and I'm intrigued.
It looks around. It seems bored at the boxes.
What have been searching the room? Anything in the box? Anything he spotted while looking around?
Yes, there appears to be large blocks of stone of different kinds. Some are like smaller statuettes that have sort of been packed together. A lot of them seem to have already been knocked about and broken open, though, probably by prior looters. It appears to be a stone craftsman's workshop.
Are you interested in stone statues?
Hmm?
Asking to guess. Are you interested in stone statues?
I am instantly less intrigued by these boxes. Now, the thing that your buddies over there are getting drunk off, I assume that's a magical item of some sort?
No, no! Cease your thievery!
I'm just curious. You can keep it for all I care.
Yes.
Right. I assume it's going to make you rather popular in Gauntlegrim, so maybe we should just go there. Or at least show you the way. We have a different destination to go to first.
We'll get you there safe.
Its friends sort of step over at it, slowly and suspiciously looking at you.
You guys are hilarious and migraine inducing.
Bird faces looking at you.
Oh, let's get out of here, shall we?
Let's be off then.
Sure. They seem to be willing to follow you, at least for now.
Alright.
For safety, allow me to mage hand that skull back into the bag of holding. For safety.
Sure.
You can
Let's
add
go.
ornamental skull.
Already done so.
Let us be off. Back to Grim.
You can return to Gauntlet.
To our avian entourage.
Actually, sounds pretty good. Avian entourage.
Yeah.
They're keeping their distance a bit, sort of flopping about. Go.
Their skills are certainly useful, for sure.
Okay, now I kind of want to play a druid now with an avian entourage. Ah.
Should return. The one who identified himself as Archimedes apparently leading the group.
Well,
On the way, he opens his beak, seeming to say more, continuing in the old wizard's voice. How did you get out? Pick the lock, then? You are smarter than the rest. I shall call you Archimedes. Do you like that?
certainly are a smart one, though, aren't you?
Smarter than the rest. It looks slightly smug. As smug as a bird can.
Fairly smug, then.
So, one thing I didn't ask about, that unfinished statue. Do you know anything you would consider useful for us to know about it?
No, it says back in Gesh's voice.
Could you stop using my voice to respond to me whenever able?
No, it says again in the exact same way using Gesh's voice.
Rita just smiles.
Fair enough.
Smarter
Fair
than the
enough.
rest.
It says again using Gesh's voice.
Well, it seems we need to secure some lodgings for our friends here.
I'm sure the king will be happy to have more people to feed.
Sure, we can quickly petition him on the way. He's there. Sure, he'll understand as part of our agreement for knowledge. So
Well, he would certainly not turn down a half a dozen souls in search for aid, I'm sure.
As you sort of walk and they notice that you're really not hurting them, they sort of begin walking closer to you. Sort of getting very comfortable.
actually, Reardon will give. So he got like it's just it's smooth stone from a deep known kid way back when, but he's gonna give it to Archimedes just as a keepsake, perhaps.
Oh, sure.
Keep.
He'll take it. Actually, as Riordan reaches for it, he can't find it,
Oh,
and Archimedes looks at him very innocently.
he just grins at him.
It's a very innocent bird. He did nothing.
Than the
Doesn't
rest,
know what you're looking for.
Roland has gathered all his stuff in the bag of holding. He's going to make sure the flap is held tightly shut.
Mhm. Seems like someone has already tugged at it.
That's fine.
Great. We're inviting like a thieves guild into the city.
Hey, it's an allied thieves guild.
Well, they owe us a favor now. That's useful.
I take these over the Zedshorn any day.
I mean, sure. I would let's take these people with us. Let them sponsor our expedition down.
Yeah. As long as they don't steal his lyre, he's perfectly fine with them being around.
They steal anything from Gesh. Gesh is going to murder all of them, so they better not.
It's bringing back interesting memories, though, of when Roland worked with actual thieves and like how he always had to watch his own back.
But with what, Gesh? All your implements are gone.
I don't need implements. You underestimate my power.
Gesh just goes insane.
And the next thing Gesh finds is his arcane focus is also gone.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Everything is gone.
Suddenly it's wearing Liam's armor and blade. Looking down at him.
And this is why the rogue is going to be over here.
Yeah, he's gonna keep an eye, I'm sure.
Good. Now Liam has 3 people to do with.
Let us petition the king for aid for these
Sure.
guys.
Some of the guards look at you as you go in, and one of them sort of steps closer. He goes like, "Heroes,
Yes, that's us.
you're bringing Kengu into the city."
Absolutely.
Turns a little bit uncomfortably.
I mean, Liam is like, I'm not bringing anything into the city. We'll let them up here. Our deal is done. Let's go back down. Get this sorted. I am sick and tired of being errand boy to this Naga. Let's get justice.
Keep an eye on them.
Absolutely not.
Uncomfortable to tell you what to do. They have a reputation.
Well, I'm sure whatever bad reputation they have, they are not going to live up to it, for it would not only see them kicked out of the city, but also incur my wrath because I'm the person who offered help and would rather not be backstabbed by whatever it is that drives you people.
Looks from Liam to Gesh. Oh, very well, Master Gesh. I'll count them as your responsibility.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, she's all about giving chances.
You hear that, Archimedes? Anything you do will reflect on me, and I would rather not have to hunt you down for a broken reputation. We understand?
Tilts his head and says, "Cease your thievery."
Yes. But in return, you get a warm bed, plenty of food, I'm sure, and a much nicer place to stay rather than some wizard's basement.
He pops his little head as its friends still pass around the mug. Seems to
You
keep
can-
being full. They drink.
Yeah. You can keep the mug.
He pops his head again.
Maybe share it with some of the dwarfs on occasion. They will like you for it.
He's very smart. I'm sure he'll know what to do.
Now, surely our good acts here will not in any way, shape, or form produce problems in the future. So let's go talk to some evil creatures about information we need.
Yes.
You want effectively to pawn off these Kingu on the king, hospitality.
Pretty much, but
For
yeah.
exchange for a resolution for the information he wants.
He will in return for that offer. He'll take them to your rooms.
All right, that's fine. I don't mind sharing my room with Archimedes. He's a nice guy.
Not in my room. Liam will not have them in his room.
Okay, he will take them to Riordan's room.
Excellent.
Sure.
It's a little crowded now. It is
That's
a nice
okay.
room.
I'm small.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine. They're all small creatures. It's fine.
Put
They will
Miss
proceed
Cirilla's
to-
room actually. She's not protesting.
No, I want to
Right,
know.
no, sure. We can have Archimedes in your room, and the others can have a party in Cirilla's.
There we go.
Sure.
As long as it's not in Roland's room, Roland has no
They
problem.
love the foaming mug. It seems.
Yeah, they can have fun with that for a while.
Yeah, as long as they're not in Roland's room, Roland does not care.
Archimedes will begin to play with some of the trinkets you must have dropped. To find.
We dropped on accident, and he picked them up.
Yeah, really, it was a lucky find for you. You would have lost them if he hadn't been there.
Yeah.
Doesn't say that though. He's just looking at them.
I mean, all he could really say is stop that thievery again. So
Yeah. It's okay.
I've never heard of Kenku before. That's actually interesting for me.
Yeah, it's cool. Everything's new to me, so
Playing a Kenku PC must be the worst.
I mean,
I'm
I
tempted.
don't know if it'd be that bad. It'd be just basically the same as playing a mute
I
one,
mean,
which is,
you would
its own unique challenge.
Yeah, it's weird. It would probably go for Tengu instead if I want to play a bird, you know. Kenku are limited, to say the least.
I mean, they're not
I don't know
gonna be
much.
the
I don't know
face,
much
but
about them other than this encounter. So.
They're good. They're good rogues. I definitely can tell that. Anyway, let's get going. Back to creepy Naga lady, who can see through all of us. The longer we're there.
Sure.
By the way, I still want to see a Kenku bard who tries to make diplomacy checks using that.
Also, Roland is probably going to have to explain himself a little bit
You can
about what
return.
she said.
Return to the base.
I'm kind of trailing behind the others right now.
You're in the room of the skulls once more. Moving in here. Hovering. Full of flame. Hot. Searing the rock they move above. Eyes opening and closing, blinking above, watching you. No Naga immediately, though.
Roland's going to just go ahead and just now mage hand the skull out of the back of holding and put it into Gesh's hands.
Well, dear Naga, we bring the thing you've asked for, we hope. Although if it's not, we'll have to go back.
Slithering down a pillar. Creature comes, black scales covering it. Call me my dearie.
Well, my dearie,
Gosh, we do so much, you and I.
we certainly could, complete the steal.
licks its teeth, looking at Broad. Its tail moving up and gesturing for you to come closer.
We'll take a few steps forward.
As you come close, some of the creatures above sort of scamper down to watch you. Very tense.
Now, it appears there's a...
Bring it to me, Yesh. Please.
Just ounce of it, and then brings it forward, sort of holding it.
It reaches out its tail.
That is what you were looking for, yes?
Takes it from your hand and holds it up to its own. Clever, Gesh. Clever little Gesh.
I do like to think of myself as clever, but I fail to see how it applies in this situation.
Just you. A little one of the things moving over, whispering before turning. You can hear the voice from so close you are. It's just a blabbering, sort of mad sound. As my dearie looks at Gesh for a long moment. This will satisfy our deal.
Excellent.
I could choose to define it to not satisfy the deal, Gesh, says in a low voice. But we serve the same master, you and I.
I find that hard to believe.
Coils.
Liam nods vigorously. Yes, he knew this all along. Of course they do.
And so I shall give you something easy. The being you are looking for has taken many forms. It is a doppelganger, serving a demon lord.
And how exactly would we track it down?
I shall point you to it. I am no friend of Fraser Blue. This is slightly. There are many like it, but this one is here. It has now finished killing another member of your expedition. Rahal Venice is dead, and in her place is this creature. Letters are being written that will denounce you to the Order of the Gauntlet. Twists. I would hurry if I were you, or you will earn a powerful enemy who might consider you to be corrupted.
And we wouldn't want to have that now, would we?
It would not be wrong, but no.
Let's talk more. Go.
Yeah, is this being said aloud properly?
It is quiet, but you can hear it.
As soon as Roland hears this, Roland's going to now triple sprint to get up to the surface.
Get her!
We're trying to follow, but then he's like,
You're not going to keep up with my triple sprint.
I'm too slow.
Liam will pick up Riordan. Get over here.
Yeah, Roland's going to book it as physically fast as his character allows him to.
Yeah, we hurry back up.
Yeah.
Well, Gesh will take the time to do proper goodbye bow and then say that apparently his companions have decided to leave, so he should follow.
Return,
I wonder why.
my dearie.
No idea.
Gesh, if you have further questions. There are those who promise you knowledge, but prove to be more difficult than I might be. Then slithers back up a pillar.
Gesh follows.
Yes. You move hurriedly.
Roland,
Yes.
Roland putting his +9 athletics to work.
How heavy am I, Liam?
Not a problem for Liam. Let's put it that way.
20 strength, so probably not that heavy.
Honestly, with 14, you can probably carry you.
I mean,
Don't break me though.
I'm at peak like physical condition.
Yes,
Really.
and you will in fact get up to see even in by the entry to the city almost. Just like in the center, but not in the palace. Rather Venice, preparing clearly with her gear and such, preparing to leave.
So what's gonna happen here is like Liam sprinting forward, drawing blade, and then just teleporting right next to her. I just go into town. This is we're done talking.
Wait.
Nope.
I mean, Roland is rapid rush as well. It's basically on the same.
You can't be seen kill here in front of everybody else.
Oh, I can.
I mean, this is going to kill. You can always just knock out.
What are they gonna do? We're the heroes.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's gonna kick us out. Like, can we?
I'm a goddamn hero.
Oh, well, Liam brings the brawn and the pain. Gash will stall the rest of the knights so they don't interfere.
As they see, well, the rest of the knights aren't here. Seems like he's
they're
going
not,
to
okay.
travel alone. However, some dwarven guards reach out, like, Liam.
Well, Gash will put all
He
the
jumps over. Yeah, do your attack.
I will.
As the Rayleigh Venice basically looks up and just tries to scramble back, drawing for her own sword.
I love this is gonna be the time where the Naga was lying and she's actually not dead. and
Do
we actually
I have advantage?
Yes, you're somewhat surprising.
Wonderful.
You know, if you objectify her, then you get max damage.
Do this. Gosh. Well, look at that.
It's pretty good.
Amazing rolls, eh?
Are you kidding? What is this?
No, you get to attack first, but
Okay. There we go.
six, really.
all right. Well, that is 2 hits.
Alright. 27 plus 25.
Oh god, this is terrible. Liam, this is your fault.
A lot of damage.
Was that
27, 52.
is there enough? Excellent. With the
And
last
Liam
strike,
just runs over.
with the last strike, I can, part of the rules say that instead of killing, I can knock her unconscious. So I will do that. It's just cutting off like an arm, and then with the other strike, just knock her out.
Sure.
All right, then he will sheath his sword and hold up his hands and said, "She's subdued. Take care of it."
Cars come rushing at you.
Jones, it's not gonna work like that. They're fucking.
They're poleaxes. Halt, Liam!
I
thought better of you.
He holds up his hand. I'm halting.
Can I say
Yeah,
They
something?
call for the alarm, clearly not wanting any of you to move right now, because
Yes,
you're
do your
all
talking.
messed up. As some more guards come running.
I'm just looking at the initiative, and it's not my turn. And generally, I don't want to talk on other people's turns, but
You're
it
out of
feels
initiative
like
right now, because you're not fighting them.
Okay, talk
Welcome.
away.
right. Gash
A lot
will
of them.
putting like all his persuasive charisma like in his commanding voice, all the words, as he says, "Listen, guards, we were assigned by your very king to track down this murderer, and we have reason to believe that real Venice is not who she says she is. Had she delivered these letters, she would have most likely sabotaged the expedition so thoroughly that we would have failed. We had to act quickly, and before you cause a huge scene, let us confirm our suspicions, yes?"
People are coming, and still running to the commotion. As one of them sort of steps closer, gesturing for Liam to take, move back.
Oh, sure. He moves back.
One of them looks at you. Yes. Could you roll a persuasion check here?
Oh,
Yes.
Can I roll it per se?
Please.
Find out.
Not get thrown in irons.
Yay.
All right. One of the guards will look to the other one and look to Liam. I'll give Liam a slight nod of respect, showing that this is for him, really, because he believes him. He's a hero. He'll go down and dig through her like carry a bag, pulling out a letter.
We need
He
to
looks
read
at
her
the
letters.
he looks at the like the seal of the Order of the Gauntlet. She looks at you and says, "If this is not what you say it is, gosh."
Then, well, I'll be damned. I was
No,
wrong.
steps
But that
in
never happens.
with his axe. Sort of,
I would like to take a look at these letters myself once you are done reading them.
thank God, unseals it and reads it. Before he closes it, sort of takes it to the side. So I will take her away now.
I would like to see that letter.
Here. As he looks wary after reading it.
Oh,
Watching you.
probably bad.
Because the letters were supposed to be framing us in a bad light. That was the whole purpose of the letters.
Yeah. No, yeah,
All
yeah.
guards appearing at the scene. Please, what's this? We'll inform the king. He'll decide what's to be done. For now, I would like to take you with me.
Well, what did the letter just say?
He looks after the other ones. Says, I don't know.
I would like to physically have that letter, please.
The king will decide that.
Can I at least be in the presence of said letter until it reaches the king?
The guard is walking away with her.
You understand my problem here?
Frowns slightly. I don't think I do.
Now, there's one doppelganger, but what if there's more than one and he's just walking away with the letter that is almost the entire proof of our accusations? You see the problem here.
God looks at you and says, we have more letters.
Give me one of them.
As he shakes his head, says, not now, Gesh.
Please?
I cannot give you what might prove your... If it is not what you say, then...
If it's not, then I fail to see how owning one of the letters changes anything.
He shrugs. Liam, please.
Yep. Liam looks over. Yep. Well, it was I who did the attack. None of my friends should be implicated, so if you need to take someone into custody, you could take me. You can leave them alone. They tried to stop me.
God looks to Gesh.
I would still like one of those letters.
Just go to flank Liam. He doesn't touch him. He has too much respect for Liam for that. So sort of escort him.
Yep, that's fine.
Should I?
Yeah, follow that corpse. Follow the body.
I mean, I can either try to follow the body, or I can try to pick the letters.
If you can get away with it, I have an idea either way.
I can try a sleight of hand to see if I can take one I'm allowed to try at range.
Also, if you can follow her body, that would be great too, because if she's a doppelganger, you know.
I mean, it's true, because if her body, she might change to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Go after her.
Do a stealth check then.
I'm going to I'm not going to risk getting caught myself during the paperwork. I'm just going to try and follow. It's more important right now. So yeah, stealth to follow.
Yeah. I mean, you can just cast invisibility on yourself to make it easier.
That's true. On visibility and stealth.
Yeah. Just in case, you know.
Hour of duration. I can do that.
Impossible to detect, almost.
I'd hope so.
So it's invisibility running, and just because I'll give a.
Well, yeah, the stealth is more for the sound in this case, I'd say. So.
So, ooh. Oh no, I didn't add a skill to that.
Oh, you didn't check his skill. Okay.
So that's 11 high, so that's 25.
I didn't even know you could do that. What?
That's
That's weird.
apparently. So 25.
I mean, it's just a flat roll without a skill select.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah. Sure. What does Gesh and Riordan do?
I'm going to annoy these guards so much by just sticking so close to the one that is actually carrying the letters and constantly asking for letters.
I mean, Riordan is just going to make sure that he doesn't.
Another couple guards to stop you as he enters like the barracks.
There's nothing we can do now, guys.
Roland also will see that sort of, there's one door and such. You can sneak about more. Of course,
Just hope
get
that
through it
our.
maybe when she goes in.
Is that wrong to see inside? Or?
Yeah, with that roll you can see that you're invisible and everything. The dwarven doors are heavy set, and very well bolted, but they also close slowly.
It turns out it's hard to stop an invisible small elf.
Yeah.
Liam is escorted, though it's more like an honor guard, given that he doesn't actually fight them or anything.
No, he's coming along quietly.
As he's being taken in. Sort of first into one room, and there's a guy, like, a dwarven guard, like, checking him, testing him for weapons and that sort of thing.
He has weapons.
Looking apologetic.
He has a lot of weapons, in fact.
Mm-hmm. Could you please...
Sure.
Just the big ones.
All right, that's fine.
He has the giant sword, his warhammer.
The warhammer, the longbow, the halberd, I think I don't have the salty maul anymore, or the mushroom maul. I think all of those sort of dissolved. But
the salty maul would be one. Sure.
Yeah, I might have the mushroom maul actually, but yeah, sure. All the big ones in a pile.
Or it might be in my bag of holding.
But you're brought into the throne room, where King Bruno is sitting, leaned back on the throne in his official capacity, golden armor and all.
Mm-hmm.
He looks down at Liam. So what is this now? Looking at his guards, say, Liam struck down Rayleigh Venice, the squire of Sir Linus Strail. He looks at Liam. Is this true?
Yes and no.
Why would you do that?
We believe that she was the murderer. It was the information we got from the source you recommended, Your Highness. In fact, she is not the squire at all, but a doppelganger assuming her form since some time ago. We had to act quickly before she escaped the city, and with damning letters that would, well, imperil the entire operation.
No, it's... Fetch her, says the one guard. And the letters, she gestures. And the others, gestures again. It's a handful of paper is handed to him. The guard comes in with a slightly conscious woman.
Roland's been stalking this entire time, so he's stalking.
And Roland will have a few, maybe you hear that from outside the room, as a Gesh and Riordan are asked if they would prefer to be present.
Yes, of course.
I'd love to actually have the idea that Roland just suddenly appears, just kneeling in front of the king and his visibility voluntarily.
That would probably be offensive.
Yeah, it would.
Probably. It's a cool idea.
Yeah,
I'll end it around a corner and walk out.
sure. How did you get it? Yeah. Kill him.
Yeah, as everyone's brought in, he looks, while that's happening, the king looks to Liam and says, Liam, if it had been anyone but you, I might have assumed you were somehow affected, but...
Liam stands proud. He knows that he is not affected.
Really, then it coughs up. They've sort of patched up the cut
Yeah.
with some stuff to stop her bleeding out and such.
You
The
like
doors and such.
appear behind her, swept her legs with like a kick, and then like hit her on the way down with the sword to just knock her out.
As she looks to the other skeleton here and looks at the sort of the paper and says, "Can everyone here trust me and my word?" She looks out. In the door comes a few other people.
Well, I failed to see how sharing one of the letters with us could do any harm, but apparently everyone thinks otherwise.
Well, if this is Lord Selrune. With our good friend Jim Jar.
He reads up a letter. It is lengthy, written in a very official style, and it says that you all are delusional at best, and somehow like glory seekers at worst. It appears that you have already struck a deal with the Centaurum that will give them everything they ask for, and that if these people are sent from the Order of the Gauntlet, they will be merely cannon fodder used in furthering some sort of Centaurum plot. It recommends dealing with these demonic things on the surface rather than focus on the Underdark, as the threat appears to be rumors.
You know, as it's read up, Liam will do a slight bow. You know, voila.
King looks at you. Says, "Now you've made quite the bad impression, I understand."
From the back, Gash will just shout, "I think it could be interpreted as being decisive and doing what needs to be done."
He nods, like looks to her and says, "Now what if she's not some sort of creature
Liam looks
that
over
simply
to
does
her.
not like you?"
In that
Then
case,
your source has misled us.
and I will apologize profusely.
I don't think an apology is going to do in this case.
Do any of you know how to reveal such a creature?
Looks over to the Archmage.
If you have someone who knows,
Yeah. You look over to the Archmage. He stands here. He's enjoying himself.
Of course he is. Fucking Harper.
She will sort of chuckle slightly.
I would guess that the good Lord Selrune could figure out a way if we don't have anything obvious.
there's certainly a spell for that.
He nods. Just I could do something, but is that really necessary?
Yes, it is.
Just, I'm not sure. Lord Aravian sort of frowns as Bruno looks over at him, annoyed. Just, please, Lord Aravian, Lord Zalrune, would you please help us resolve this issue? Lord Zalrune smiles. Why, you ask so well, my lord. Why should I not? A little smug that he got the king to ask him personally. So it's not so hard to say thank you, is it?
It's fine. Bruno is.
Rumble something in Dwarven about
Archmages.
water deep and mages
Yes.
never being clear or helpful.
Let me tell you something about mages and Waterdeep.
Yes.
I mean, admittedly, Roland can also tell you things about me.
See now Gesh and Bruno can bond over this, you know?
Lord Zalrune takes out a powder puff and some ointment and begins to sort of rub his hands with the ointment, powder puffing his cheeks and a little bit in his hair, it'll wet a little bit.
It's important to look
The
the part.
eyes.
When they're about to
You're
cast a
breathing,
spell.
like stretching a little bit, flexing his fingers.
Oh, he's loving this.
I really like him.
And then he taps his temple, and you see his eyes sort of glow in a white light that will see everything for what it truly is.
True sight.
Eternally and forever knowing the universe.
True thing.
Magic
That's-
beyond any of you.
I'm scared now.
As he then looks at her, says, "Oh, hideous!" He steps back
wonderful.
and says, "Oh, yes, and she is also a." He kind of looks at you, you know, a doppelganger. By the way, no one else here is. Looking around, you know, then looking to Liam and giving him like an obvious wink. Or before he gives about my king, Bruno. You know, just thank you. Yes, so sit back. If you wish more proof, simply kill her, and it should be obvious. It really. Sort of goes back. You know, having a very good time of it. Bruno looks too. And then says, "Hey, very well then. Liam."
My king.
The guy says, "Step away." He gestures. "It's yours."
Oh, very well then.
God, he is stepping away as well as she stands up, sort of looking around, hissing slightly.
Yes.
Staring at everyone, trying to find some sort of, trying to make someone step forward.
What does she say? Okay, what's the phrase?
Hey, Hydra.
The charges at Liam. "It is useless to resist."
Yep. Yes, and Liam will.
Swinging its attack.
Yeah. Liam will, you know, with a flick of his
does not count
fingers.
for the surprise attack or the ambusher ability.
Again, Liam, you know, snaps his fingers. His bonded blade of sharpness will magically teleport to him, as he will, you know, do like a swinging arc to just take her down.
Disarming him does not.
Yeah.
As the creature is cut to the death into the heart, basically, it twists and warps and flops back as a almost frog-skinned black creature with void-like eyes, elongated limbs, and sort of a strange opaque color, almost see-through but black, definitely. And it falls down, a sneer on its face, angry at the situation. Almost got away with it.
Jonas, what sound did it make
there.
when it died?
Ah!
There we go.
I didn't do full volume because I'm,
No.
you know, I care for you, but
Lord Arabian sort of, you know, quirks his nose and looks to Lord Selro and says, "My lord, it occurs to me if you'd done this earlier, we could have avoided this whole mess." So shrugs. "I didn't think of it."
oh boy.
Bruno sighs. "Besides, if I solved every problem, then no one would ever get anything done."
Archmages, man, like
We have 2 people dead because of this. But that's okay, you did help us, so.
2 people are dead, but that's okay.
But that's okay. Don't swipe me, please.
it's fine. We can take him.
No. Just no.
No, he's a good guy. He's just a harper and also an archmage and a water Davian. So like all of these 3 things make him an asshole. But that's fine.
He said, he says, "I am hungry after this. Who wants me to tell them what their food is made from?"
How about a chess
This
game?
is going to last for an hour.
He just beeps out of his eyes like,
Ah!
oh, true sight.
He'll take it. You're gesturing for a guard to come with him. Who just does?
I feel a little anxious with Silent Truths, like walking around, just because the idea that like they've basically got X-ray vision running.
Oh yeah, they see everything for what it truly is.
Liam, flicks, does a flickering motion with his sword to get the blood off, and then like just
goes up and like slumps on the throne. Like,
yeah, and then like smooth arc puts it back into his sheath.
even then, I never knew he truly knew it was true until he gestures to the corpse. Old Roaring Horn can be quite the man.
Liam nods slowly. We seem somehow to have amused and impressed him, however. I believe he has pledged his shield guardian to our cause, right? He sort of looks over to Riordan.
Yes.
Liam nods.
Except I do need to return to him for him to give it to me before we leave.
Alright.
Well, it seems you've solved the problem then. Were there any others?
Well, before we agree to do anything else, I hate to sound like really a canker at this point, but could I please have one of those letters?
Hey, nods and has the guard hand you one.
Excellent, thank you.
Do we bring this before the Zentarum? I mean, this creature tried to frame them. Maybe that would be enough to ingratiate us to them a bit. Liam sort of scratches his chin. He doesn't seem to believe it, really.
Uno shrugs his, whatever you need to do to get them on our side.
Well, you heard the king. Whatever we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
He raises an eyebrow. Looking at Liam, knowing that perhaps Liam has borders he can trust.
Yeah. Liam is a conscience, he's honorable. Well, I guess we'll bundle up the corpse.
Riordan wants to take a look though, because
you can take a look.
His
what's taken away by the dwarves.
His a faint memory back in the City of Blades of when they were in the Cavern of Whispers that whoever brought him down into the Underdark was a shape changer of sorts. So he's kind of very interested, although he can't tell if this is the same one because there are probably many doppelgangers around. But he's very curious. There's nothing much he can do to either reveal that fact anyway, so.
You can take a look at it. It's a gross, weird-looking thing.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
I'll take it away.
I mean, will that be enough? Like, will that be enough to get the Zentarum on our side? Or like, if they could, like, honestly, if they're like, oh, we want control over the Underdark, like, Liam would be like, sure, we can say that, but it'll be up to you to hold it, and I don't know if you can do that. You know what I mean?
The things they implied was basically they want control over all the outposts that we established in the course of this.
Which is basically they'd have control over the entire Underdark as far as the surface is concerned, which is not a good idea in any sense.
I mean, no, it's not a good idea, but is it that bad?
But we would get two things if we get the Zentarum on our side. We would get help in bypassing a lot of the challenges, according to them anyways. We would get actually 3 things. 4 things even. We would get entrance to Mental Dareth, which is apparently not trivial because it's both hidden and disintegrates people. We would get a contact in the city who knows his way around. And we would not get the Zentarum joining like the demons.
That contact, though, whether he is or not, could be the person that basically captured Jordan, or could be the form of a someone that a doppelganger took. But essentially, Rio's gonna have a problem. You can take the deal, but he's definitely gonna have a problem when we get there.
I mean, as far as I understood it, is that if Riordan sees this person, he's gonna kill him.
Well, I don't know. After seeing this doppelganger, I think he's gonna rethink his position a bit. But he's definitely not gonna be happy.
I mean, even if you hate that person, maybe just not kill him on sight and let him be useful to us, and then you can do whatever.
Sure. I'm just saying that it's gonna be a conflict, I suppose.
Yeah.
Personally, as I see it, it's like, oh, we want the control of the outpost, and I'm like, well, I mean, I don't think you can hold it, but you're welcome to try, as far as I'm concerned. It's like, oh, we have an outpost, and then like, the next year, like fire giants come up and just smash everything, and then that outpost is gone anyway. Because you don't really hold things in the Underdark. It sort of takes it back from time to time, right? Like mind flayers show up or something.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm like, whatever. The taking our stuff though, that's a big no-no. I'm not into that at all, and I would not agree to that. Because we can't fight if we don't have resources, and if they're gonna take our resources, they can go and fuck themselves, really.
Yeah.
And for information, I mean, I would assume they have spies to get all the information anyway, so that doesn't matter either. But yeah, stealing our loot. I mean, if we can get rid of that specific provision, then I wouldn't have as many qualms. But if they hold, and for them, that's like a minor, that's like a minor income, whatever we would dig up. Like they would earn so much more of controlling down there. So I don't see why they would put that demand in there, except to insult us.
That is exactly what I said.
Yeah.
So, I guess we should try to negotiate with him again.
I mean, that's what I think. I don't know what the rest of the party thinks.
I would like them on our side.
Sure, why not?
I don't really like having them on our side. But...
I mean, Riordan's not happy, but like he's not gonna just go in the way of it. You can do whatever you want, really, in that case.
Roland's ethics really get in the way here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also, in this case, also you as players, if you think it's a good idea or not.
I mean, what my decision is based off my character.
Yeah, I'm split in that regard. As a player, I think it's actually half decent, but as a character, it's like, no.
Yeah, like I don't mind doing it as a character. I'm just trying to act, or as a player, I just don't want to act how my character acts. So.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying that sometimes when it's like big strategic decisions for a campaign, it's fine to step out of character and be like, like consider the actual benefits of it.
I think we did that last session anyway, so it's fine.
All right then.
So you will go to speak to the Centaurian?
Yeah.
All right. It'll function much like last time. You basically ask for them. Slightly fashionably late time happens, and then someone comes and gets you and takes you out to outside the city limits, really. Place where no gods will see what happens. As you are brought. Davra is waiting for you. Having been told now to be here because you're arriving. And we'll have a slight smile that says, "I knew you'd be back."
Of course.
Around the place, there are other people, nondescript, hooded, covered in different ways, standing about. Keep an eye on everything around this place and on all of you.
Well, dear Deborah, we have reconsidered your offer and also, by the way, taken care of the saboteur who was trying its damnedest to get the Zentaran implicated in all this. So you're welcome. Now,
Liam nods. I bought it.
She smiles like, of course you did.
now,
I'm not here to sabotage anything. You will effectively be doing work that I think you should do. My organization might be split, but we always act as one. And the hope is for me to have you become our clients in this.
we will be no one's client. You will help us in our task, and you will reap the benefits that you desire. A partnership. Nothing more, nothing less.
Partners. If that is your change to our deal, then I suppose I can live with it.
I am not done yet. As I've tried to explain last time, and perhaps a night of sleep was enough to get the point across, 20% of whatever we find is nonsense, as the Zentarum will benefit a lot from the control that we will offer, as well as the information.
She shrugs and says, it is in truth a small amount, I imagine. You might find some gold down there, but since I do not specify magical items, which should be most of the true treasure, it is a security fee ensuring that even if no outposts are established, we will still be paid. If you would agree, I could perhaps change the stipulation to say that there shall be a price of 40% of all the gold you find, minus 10% per outpost we are handed over at the end of the
Liam scratches his chin and says, this fee will be paid when, precisely? At the end of it, I assume, because we don't know how much gold we would find.
She nods and says that seems to be the only way to do it.
Well, then I will counter your offer with, we will pay the 20% you suggested as a security fee in case, well, no outposts get established. In case no outpost gets established. Otherwise, we will keep all the treasure while you can benefit from the outposts.
The security fee, of course, would be taken at the time and returned once one is established, yes?
Well, I'm just suggesting that should we fail to secure any outposts, we will be happy to pay some gold to compensate for our failure, but since that will not happen, we might as well just scratch that from the contract.
As it might not happen, let's say 100% of the treasure, then, yes, Mr. Gesh. If it does not happen, then it does not matter to you.
I would like to see
but that
them
would be
try.
an even worse deal than you originally suggested.
She nods.
You
Yes.
literally just...
And so, I suggest we will take the 20% until an outpost is established and under our control, after which all the gold will be returned to you and be yours. This is a fairer deal than I imagined I would give you.
And it's still not acceptable. Would you really want to lose our support in your endeavor here because of something that isn't going to be relevant?
I could ask you the same thing.
Oh, I'm willing to go very far, and I don't bluff.
We're adventurous. I mean, come on, we're crazy over here.
The
I
rest of
mean,
you?
then again, we could be like, oh, sure, 20%. And then when they come around, we're like, oh, I mean, Gesh has 2 gold, and I have, 5, so here you go.
Consider this. We are willing to head into the Underdark to face demons head on. We are objectively mad and will reject your offer over petty insults.
Could you do a persuasion check? That's an argument you can understand.
It's a good argument. Oh yeah, It's critical argument.
No, Francis, I suppose you are completely mad. Just shoes on it. You understand it's going to be my hide.
And ours, really. Mostly our hides.
Yes, but that doesn't really matter to me.
And, I mean, your hide doesn't really matter to us, frankly. So, you know.
Oh, I thought you were altruistic.
Not exclusively, no.
Not unconditionally.
Mm.
How about we slash the fee and I just have the dragon? Points to say.
Oh, no.
No.
You know, I thought it was worth trying. It'd be a shame if I hadn't. So you will inform us of all the information you find.
Although countering that offer, what if you paid Cinder so that he would return the favor in perhaps a few hundred years? Would be a good investment, I'm sure.
He makes a face. Any dragon in the surface of Centarum is an employee. Francis, we have some.
Gesh shrugs. Sure you do.
Irregardless. You will inform us of everything that happens. And keep no secrets from us. And we will be given control of every outpost you establish in the Underdark. There might be no fee. Is that what you suggest? That your fee will be the blood and sweat you put into this endeavor?
Oh, there will be plenty of that, I'm sure.
I will expect about the amount I could purchase somewhere for 20% of what you find.
Oh, that'll be. We can give you so much misery later. Like it flows from us like wine.
I suppose that'll have to do then. He shakes her head. You are completely mad.
Yes.
Throwing the world on the pyre for such petty things.
It's aggravating, isn't it?
Unless that you don't care if you succeed or fail. Well then, she looks to her people and says, aren't you glad you're going to accompany these men? They say nothing. Professionals. She looks to you, and they will. Just that smile. I suppose I will have to agree then. Information and control of every outpost, with no monetary fee in return for information and aid. You will not be clients, however. That you have chosen not to do. Companions, was it? Friends.
Partners.
With benefits.
Benefits. Partnership. Gesh and Centarum Incorporated.
Gesh's father already works with them.
Oh, he does?
I mean, they have so much money.
He mentioned that his bank usually.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like he manages some accounts. Yeah, I mean,
It can
Waterdeep's
hardly
a big city. You know, he doesn't ask where
He's
clients
just-
get the
I
money
mean,
from.
he
It's just-
just moves money. That can hardly be illegal, right?
yeah. As he said, money can't be evil.
Well, I mean, I really don't like the Centauri. I think they are hideous and, you know, the worst scum on the earth. But if Brutal Battlehammer says that we really need the help and they can provide us a way into Mental Dareth, that, you know.
Out of character here, I would have actually. Part of me actually would have preferred going the other way around of the deal of going for that 40% and giving them no outposts.
40% no outposts.
But then we would suffer for.
I mean, how much do we need actual coin?
Listen, money makes the world go round.
This is life after this.
Though in fairness, Dash is broke right now and I'm sitting on 600 gold, so I can understand the problem.
I mean, then again, the outposts, I don't know exactly what she believes are going to be those outposts. and like what it means to be in control. I mean, I'm not gonna stand around enforcing their control. I'm gonna be like, well, it's an outpost. If you want to establish an outpost here,
Yeah.
you go ahead and
You
do
won't
that.
resist them like if you make a camp somewhere, you'll not resist their people using it afterwards and just keeping it.
No,
It's there.
that's fine with me. As long as we're welcome back to it, you know.
Sure.
And I'll be fine with that. Really, it'll be a discussion between her and King Bruno, I guess. If Bruno's like, no, I want this outpost, and she's like, no, I want this outpost, and then I will be like, whatever. I'm not gonna. This is my problem. But we are not opposing them to have those outposts. I'm just saying that, technically speaking, we have no authority to give them anything down there. So.
Well, we will be leading the expedition.
I mean,
We actually will be in positions of leadership.
We are the ones who are telling them what to do.
It's true.
The king doesn't rule where we're going. So
Even if we won't be officially leading the expedition, which we will be leading the expedition either way.
what we find is our claim, is basically what it is. So that's what they want.
yeah, I personally, I don't care. If they want to sit on caves in the Underdark, I mean, they're not the worst thing down there. If Centaurum have presence down there, it's I'd rather be in a Centaurum camp than in like a Null cave. So.
I mean,
Not by much, I grant
No one
you.
likes the Knolls. He remembers a good time. Like a double body and mind body and everything.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or like the Quaggoth, so that's what I'm saying. Like, even if the Centaurum has outposts down there, they're not going to be the worst thing in the Underdark.
But no, but how much more evil can we condense into one place?
I don't know. We helped out the City of Blades quite a bit.
I mean, the more Zentarum are in the Underdark, the less are on the surface, right?
Oh, that's a good argument. Concentrated to the Underdark.
The amount of members they have ever sounds good.
I mean, the turnover rate is going to be pretty high down there, right? Like, they're going to die by the score, I imagine.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Just expect a very grumbly Roland for a while. That's all.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
like player-wise, I don't mind. Character-wise, it might have a bit of a, grumbly about it, but nothing really you can do about it. So.
Again, if they betray us, we will exact horrible vengeance upon them.
I mean, that's just general
That's
Adventure
just
policy.
a given. That's a given for anyone ever.
And
Have you looked at like every single Adventure policy? I don't think there's any that haven't.
and when we're done with this, we can go after them if we feel like it.
Cinder remembers everything, and he lives for a very long time.
He does.
I mean, me, Cinder, and Skrilla have like at least over half a century to go. Sorry, half a millennium to go. We've got time.
Yeah.
It's too bad that his
Then
parents.
she will nod and say, "Very well, then I shall have write up a contract. We can have your signatures, and then I shall deliver it to my employers."
Wonderful. Happy doing business.
At times, it's good. This is not one of those times. I'm glad you enjoyed it, though.
Oh, the most entertaining part is yet to come, I think.
Riordan, mind controller.
No.
He turns to Liam and pushes him over the bridge.
No!
Told you I'd get you someday.
Yes.
If any of you die in secret, it's gonna be because Ron stabbed you while you're in bed.
That's fine.
So in the future, if that happens, now you guys know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know who it is. Yeah, as they will fade into the shadows once more. Wherever Centauran people go when they're not on screen.
To the black box just beside the screen, I imagine.
Yeah, the little void to hang out in.
That's where I store all my stuff.
Well, that was productive.
Well, this has been a long but interesting day. We met a Naga.
Yes, we spoke to a Naga.
We discussed when we met Kengu.
Yep, we saved Kengu.
Kenku.
Kenku.
Got
Tengu and Kenku, yes.
Mhm.
Kenku.
We found a doppelganger. We killed a doppelganger.
Yes, very,
We
very happy.
nearly got killed by the guards.
Nah, it was fine. It was only Liam who was gonna die, so it's fine.
And we made a deal with the shadiest people we know.
Oh yes. And the Satarim.
And I got my fucking letter, finally.
Why do you want the letter?
I mean, I may or may not have a background feature that lets me forge documents, so
Oh,
I figured, just in case.
oh sure.
In fairness, if we were actually a couple of levels ago, Roland still would have had the ability to magically alter letters.
And well, I didn't want to just give it to you.
Yeah,
I don't have that. I don't have that anymore because we were never going to use it. I didn't think.
I mean, well, we get that contract.
I'm not going. I don't know if me magically altering the contract would really work. They might notice.
They might.
It's fine though. Yeah, we Is there anything else the characters need to do, or we
I think
go rest?
I think we go rest.
Liam has a few scratches to heal up.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Which means you can draw a second.
Riordan helped him with the worst of it, but you know, a little bit of rest will perk him up.
I have spells what to get. I think it's all good.
I think we'll take a long rest.
You take a long rest.
And there we go. I have all of my hit dice back now.
Hooray!
We'll see how next time Cyrilla reacted to having a Kenku party in her room when she comes back. Working on rebuilding a temple of virtue.
Though these Kenku have led to an interesting result, which
You
is...
know, the worst thing is, it's not just Kenku, it's a bunch of drunk Kenku.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So where exactly are we staying? Are we staying in like a tavern, or are we staying like in like private quarters somewhere?
You have proper quarters, yeah. It's like a nice one.
Yeah, okay. And given this situation, so normally Roland would be on like some kind of area like shared by it. No, given there's Kenku about, Roland is going to be just staying in his room during his shift.
Reardon will teach Archimedes some nice things to say about Gesh with his own voice, which would be nice to hear back, you know.
He can say exactly what he hears.
Yep.
He also knows the sound of a dwarven door opening and Riordan's footsteps and a lot of other things.
Doesn't that sound of Roland still? Then?
I wonder how good he would be at music then.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah, we can figure out some cool acoustic things to do, I'm sure.
He can, if you play a flute, he can mimic it 100%.
I can play a flute, in fact. I've got proficiency in flutes.
We
can play a quartet of sorts.
But Kenku have no creative ability at all in any way, so they can never do anything original.
It's fine. I'll teach it. I'll basically play it, and he can play it back to me, and I'll play something else.
I'll age you, Riordan. We can do a music check.
Sure.
It'll be exactly the same as you do it.
Do they have perfect memory?
No, not particularly. But they can remember a lot of things, especially when they just hear them.
Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, an old Kenku would be like an incredible master of knowledge in that case.
There you go.
Listen,
Jesus
listen,
Christ! The fucking ceiling, you know, crumbles under the pressure.
Under the pressure of what was Riordan playing?
His lyre.
So we have a lyre, a flute, and a Kenku.
So basically, you know how you have soundboards that can record and then loop sound?
Yeah.
Yeah,
people do amazing things with that?
Yeah.
That is literally the Kenkus.
He loves it, and it's probably not gonna stop doing it for like too long.
I mean, if he can repeat that exact performance,
and there's just like music coming out, almost like recording.
If he can do it at that skill level, he can be like the royal bard at any court.
Yeah, I'd offer him to become.
Just keep replaying this performance we just did now.
Could be the Kenku representative at my house if you want.
Just say, Riordan Heartspark presents, and then he opens his beak.
I'm just saying though. I'm just saying. I now want to see a Kenku bard who's literally just remixing sounds.
Or
Yeah.
remix sounds as well.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
again,
They can't remix because they can't do it. Yeah.
Original. He can only use the
Exactly.
sounds as much as they were used, and never.
Never alter them. Yeah. So.
Interesting. But yeah, that's a performance that
Now that you have time to think about it and study it, it is said that once they served like a demon king or something like that, perhaps a four-winged demon king or devil or something, but that they ended up stealing his shit, and he flipped his shit, and they punished them by forever making them beggars. They can never really produce anything or do anything new. They can only steal from others or take from others or.
Or
Yeah.
apparently be music repeaters.
Yeah, they're taking Riordan's performance and they're
That's fine.
using it for themselves.
You can gladly take it.
I feel like we need percussionists though, because right now we've got a flute and we've got a lyre, but we need like percussion.
Oh, I can percussion.
I can play drums though, so if they can
Oh.
Can't do
cover.
Full
No,
attack
but they-
drum.
But I can't do both. But they're repeating what I'm doing, so I can just.
Yeah. Okay. So you do the solo lyre bit, and then you start playing the drums afterwards.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
like a 5-track Kenku
Actually,
yeah.
orchestra.
Actually, no. What would actually be better is you doing the drums first, because then they provide the backbeat for us.
Yeah, of
Because we've got
course.
to keep the rhythm.
Yeah.
Beatbox Kenku.
Yeah, we can actually make 3 instruments going at once. It's great.
Well, if his drunk entourage is, receptive enough, we
if they-
can
if
have
they
the
alter them,
whole
we can have
chorus, a whole chorus of sounds.
It sounds like it's a party night in Cerella's course.
This is gonna be one hell of a day for us, for Robin to write up in his journal.
Dear diary.
A lot of shit happened today.
Yeah, it was a productive day. Have we secured assistance from all of them now?
Yep.
Wonderful.
We sure have.
Tentatively, but we've got assistance from all of them.
That's great. Good
The
work, team.
the elves have technically not agreed to help us with the big mission. They've technically agreed to help supply us with things so we can help find their missing operatives. But same purpose for us.
Certainly.
Even if they had to write it down to something else, they're still giving us the support. And pieces of bureaucrats will make it what we want. So I don't like that Naga though.
Nah, she wasn't. She had a hot for Gesh though.
Did. And Gesh reciprocated that, calling her my dearie.
It's a whole like Zacharias thing going on. But he had like a tentacle lady.
Really? I would never.
I mean, you're getting on your age. You're like what, 50?
I don't.
I mean, you've
Want to
made
talk about it?
a pact with the.
Well, you'll
big
have to
serpent,
settle
so-
someday.
I mean, you're not getting any younger, really.
No.
No, you're getting a lot older.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
very
need to.
carefully.
I'm going to save the server here. I hope you had a good time.
It was interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, I shall stop the stream and recording here. Thank everyone for watching.
Gather the people around you.
Yeah.
Yes. Farewell, my friends.
I think we still had to clear the fort, no?
Yeah, we do.
You could. You don't have to do anything.
Well, we might as well, I guess.
Might as well before we go.
Get some good weapons and stuff. But yeah.
Well, it's fire-resistant weapons. It gives us nothing else.
Yeah,
Or
well,
fire-resistant armor.
that's not bad.
Fire-resistant
That's not
weapon.
bad.
Yeah, we'll make you a suit of fire-resistant armor.
Was it nice to get something that wasn't like bandit stolen, but actually like custom elven, custom made for my elven physique?
Dwarven masterwork.
They make good stuff.
They do, yeah. But yeah, thanks you guys for watching. We will see you next Friday for Starfinder and next Saturday for more Out of the Abyss.
Yay.
Yay!
More like into the abyss.
Yes. See you then. Good night.
Right.